table. No need to raise your voice just to prove that you're able. We build, not break. Every point that we make, let it breathe, let it land, give and take. You speak, I listen, no rush to reply. Let the silence sit, let the tension pass by. No cheap shots thrown, no need to defend. Just ideas on the floor, let them bend. No winner, no loser in sight. Just a spark in the depth of the night. Sharpen thought, not the blade of pride. Let the truth decide. Respectful debate, elevate the mind. Different views, but the tone stays kind. Turn the heat down, let the light come through. Best conversations come from me and you. Respectful debate, rhythm in the flow. Push it forward, let the inside grow. No need to tear down, just to feel right. We rise together in the same light. You challenge my view, I'll welcome the test. Not a threat, just a chance to refine what's best. No talking past, no twisting the frame. We stay on point, we stay in the game. Break it down, no ego in the way. Let the facts breathe, let the thoughts sway. Calm minds cut deeper than a shout ever could. Turn friction into something good. Respectful debate, elevate the mind. Different views, but the tone stays kind. Turn the heat down, let the light come through. Best conversations come from me and you. No, 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 no. No need for war when words can align. Different paths, but the goal is to find something real in the space we create. That's the power of a respectful debate. Slow down for a second.
What is up? What is up, guys? What is up? Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone is doing well. All right. So, if you didn't see my earlier stream today, I had a few detractors, right? Who were very opinionated by these topics, these debate topics. So I wanted to see and I said that, if anyone wanted to debate face to face, or you don't have to be on cam, right? You don't have to be on cam, just have a mic. But if anyone wants to actually get on call, the panel, right? We can have a debate. We can have a respectful debate. Okay. Whiskey, what is up, my brother? How you been? I hope that you stay strong, my brother. I know that you're going through some rough times, but I love you, so I want you to stay strong. And
yeah, I'm okay. I talked to my psychiatrist today.
Okay. Good.
So I had an appointment, and then I didn't know I had an appointment. And he called me. He said, "You missed. You have an appointment today. I missed you. Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm okay."
Okay.
And he said, "Well, you could reschedule." And I said, "How about we just have the appointment over the phone?"
Okay. And
So,
did it go well?
Yeah, it went well. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Okay, I'm glad.
I'm off the wagon. I'm still off the way.
Well, I'll say this: it's a hard journey. I want you to stay healthy, my brother.
I like the taste of whiskey.
I get it, but it's in moderation, right? Moderation. Okay, I mean, like I know some people who like get drink whiskey every night. Okay, but a glass of whiskey, what is it, like a
Right.
finger or whatever? You know, a small sliver, right? When you're doing something, it's
Right.
not a bad thing.
2 fingers.
Yeah, 2 fingers. Yeah, like
Two
a 2 finger
fingers of
thing.
whiskey. I don't know if
Doesn't
I'm.
do-
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to stop though, because I was on a medication that I can't remember what it's called, nutreXone,
Mhm.
that makes you not have the cravings for alcohol. And
Uh-huh.
it worked for 2 weeks,
Oh,
but that 14 days. That's pretty good. Yeah.
what made it stop?
I don't know. I just had I was on it every day.
Uh-huh.
Took the medication, and then I just had an urge to take it to drink.
Ah,
I
so
had an urge to drink.
you just got off of it yourself.
Yeah, and
Oh,
then I stopped taking it.
okay. I mean, again, we're all adults. You know, do what you want. I just,
You know,
you know, I don't want you because I know that my father has been a serious alcoholic, right? When for years. So I've seen the ugliness of it. So you know, I just
well,
I don't know your level. So
you know,
I want the best for you.
man, I drink. I know I drink too much, but I just drink at home and I just sip it. I
Uh,
just sip. I so I'm not going and drinking and driving or or
no,
getting into fights or
no.
I don't do. I don't. My only addictions are alcohol and nicotine.
Mm,
So I mean, I don't do other drugs.
I get
'Cause-
it.
So, but I don't know what it is. It's just I like the taste of it, but I know it's bad. I know I drink too much. I know it's bad for me. But
Yeah.
it is really something hard to kick forever. I can do it for like 2 or 3 days, but
Well, I mean, you don't think that you could at least tone it down? You know?
well, I don't. I never get like blackout drunk. I usually quit when it doesn't taste good anymore.
Mm.
So
So there's
I'm,
a point. There's a threshold to stop tasting good.
yeah, because my tongue gets burned.
Oh
Because
wow!
so I'm drinking Russell Reserve. I think it's 46. Yeah, your tongue. Alcohol burns your tongue.
I didn't know that.
So if you drink a lot of it, it's gonna burn your taste buds.
You drink it to that point, bro.
Well, yeah,
I,
my sweet spot for alcohol is 43% ABV.
mm,
So
mm,
I drink it neat is just straight, but I can't really just drink alcohol straight if it's above 43%.
you need to ice it down,
So I put water in it.
uh, bro. I mean, again, we're adults. You know, do what makes you feel good or happy. I just, again, it's about your health. You know, I care for you. I do. So I
Yeah,
want you to do well.
you know. So your topics there, body counts do matter
Yes.
for me, for women.
Yeah, I had a live stream today, early in the day, and I had some good debates over on chat, but some people wanted to talk in person. So see if this tonight works. Usually this doesn't work because people don't stop by and chat. I don't know, such a weird difference where
Well,
if
it's
I do it
Wednesday.
on mobile, people
It's
do.
Wednesday, right? This is
Yeah,
your live chat day, right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
There'll be
And
other people in there. I
yeah, I
imagine,
just
right?
don't usually get detractors, right? I don't usually get disagreeers besides like one or two people. So we'll see. I mean,
Well,
if it
sometimes
doesn't,
those people are okay. That John guy, has he been on recently?
no, no.
Hmm. As long as they're, you know, your detractors, sometimes they're okay as long as they don't get upset. But a
I
lot of
think that
those leftists,
yeah, they
they,
will.
they
Yeah,
get they get so emotional. It's just crazy. They can't have a logical debate.
yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. I mean,
it's
one
it's
hundred
just
percent.
yeah, it's just weird to me that progressives, if you truly believe in something, you could defend your positions, but they can't really defend them, and then they get emotional.
They can't. I mean, God, if you guys see my live from earlier today, you could see that they couldn't defend their point of views. they can argue against my point of views. So hopefully, I mean, if anyone wants to challenge me today, we could. Again, I'm not a professional debater.
Right.
That's why I'm open-minded. One thing I don't care about Alan, who is who
That
you
guy,
know,
right.
he's been a regular, right,
Right.
a debater against me. I'm very open-minded. I would change my view if it makes sense.
Right. He's not too bad. Alan's not too bad.
He's not bad. He's not too bad.
But he does get a little bit emotional. He uses the nefarious debating tactics.
He does, right? I experienced it quite a few times. But I mean, again, he's a young man.
Right.
And I think that's indicative of the left. They think that they're smarter than they are. So
Right. Right. One time, this is years ago, my nephew, I think he is a progressive. I haven't talked to him for years and years, but out of the blue, he said, there's a huge plastic huge plastic mass in the middle of the Pacific. Doesn't anyone care about this? And I said to him, just because you state that doesn't mean that you actually care about it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you actually care about it, go rent a boat, go in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and haul in all those plastic bottles.
Yes, these people only know how to talk.
But yeah, so they just think that they're virtuous because they think of something. But I've known about that huge plastic bottle mass in the Pacific
I did too.
for years and years and years. But there's not really much I can do about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose I could. I mean, I could rent, like I said, I could rent a boat and go. But there are people that are just starting to do something about it. They go out and they have these massive nets and they haul it all in. But it's not this. Plastic bottles aren't from the United States. They're from like India and Thailand.
Majority of pollution isn't from the U.S. Isn't from the West. It's from underdeveloped countries.
Right.
It's from bigger countries, the India, the China, shit like that. Countries that are trying to industrialize,
right,
which will produce heavy amount of pollution. I don't know what these progressives or leftists think that America should do. We can't really do much when it comes to other countries. We are actually very environmentally cautious.
Right.
But they would blame us for everything.
Yeah, yeah, correct. So the Western countries aren't really polluting that much, but it's all the like you said, it's all these countries that are just in like the first stages of or the later stages of industrialization.
Mm-hmm.
And the people there, they just don't have this mindset right now.
They don't care about that. They only care about to develop infrastructure as fast as possible. Right?
I was listening to this guy. Can't remember what YouTube video it was, but he was talking about India, and he was saying that even now, this was like in the last couple of weeks. Even now, people in India still burn cow dung as a fuel to cook food. Cow dung. So they have cow dung patties, hanging on their wall.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised. They're still, even though they are such a huge population, they're still way behind.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. When did you become a pro-life? Because you weren't pro-life when I first started following you. I don't think.
No. So. Yeah. To be honest, I was very pro-choice. Right. Very pro-choice. I think I become pro-life when it just become. This is the thing where this is why the left is crazy, right? It's that I was Democrat. I was, I was very liberal, but there become a degree where you just become insane, okay?
Right?
Instead of logical, right? It makes sense for care about humanity. It makes sense, but worry about healthcare, worry about education. But then you see, or it makes sense that you want to give people, freedom of choice,
right?
But then it just makes it delusional, right? Where let's say, it's a clump of cells, because it's like I said this before, where plenty of times where, number 4, abortion is deleting a baby. Just be honest.
Right.
It is.
Right.
You're irresponsible. Yeah. You've had sex with men you don't want or don't want you, and you don't want to suffer the consequences. I respect that more then you say, nah, it's just a clump of cells. It's not
Right.
even alive. It's not
Right.
conscious. Then you're just lying to yourself.
Right.
You're trying to soften the blow. And I just don't like that dishonesty. I don't like the point of view that we say, oh, it's just a clump of cells. You are a clump of cells right now. We are
Right.
all a clump of cells
Right.
right now. So it's like, this is why it's like the left has gone too far and it made it stupid. If you agree with them, you feel and sound stupid. So it's like, how can I be pro-choice when I see all the people who are pro-choice around me? They're so
Right.
idiotic.
Yeah.
So if I'm part of their group, I feel like I get secondhand stupid.
Right. When Trump was elected first, I was watching, I think it was Bill Maher. I was watching a clip of Bill Maher, and there was this woman on there, and she said, well, now that Trump's elected, I have to get pregnant just so I can have an abortion before it comes into office.
Again, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Right? How can it's like I see women, right? And seeing like again, it's because of social media just made me very. The left has a terrible marketing. Made me like so disgusted by the left because I see women dancing in abortion clinics. I mean, like,
Right. Right.
it's like, are you kidding me? Or I see women saying, "Oh man, if I have a son, I'm going to abort him." What?
Right.
It's like, are you doing it? It's like, are you doing it because you can't afford a kid, or are you doing it for political stupid ass shit? That's why I'm like, no, I don't know. I can't be part of the left because they're so idiotic.
So,
right? And I see more and more of that.
So why do you think that people who are pro-choice can't just come out and say, I don't care if it's a baby. I want the right to abort the baby.
Because they think that they have some moral high ground.
Okay.
I honestly think that, just like I said, they think that they're the party of peace, they're party of minorities, they're the party of women, all that shit, right? The party of the people.
Right.
So they can't necessarily out and out say things that would be counterproductive to those ideologies, right?
Right.
How can you be you care about the murdering of kids in Palestine, yet you don't care about the murdering of little babies here in in the U.S., right? So that's why there's like, it's a clump of cells. It's not a baby. It's not this. It's not this. So it could lessen the blow, right? So it doesn't necessarily counteract their other point of views, right? Even though they know that it's hypocrisy, right? They're hypocritical, right? One view will counteract the other view, but that's why they have to do certain tactics to go work around it.
Do you think it's a tactic, or do you think it's actually what they believe? Do you think they actually know that it's a baby, or do you think it's just a tactic?
I think it's like, how those things where there's certain people that, let's say we talk about this a lot, right? Women that get with bad men.
Right.
He's a bad man.
Yeah.
But you say, oh, he's going to change. You say a whole lot of whole lot of crap to make it seem like it's not as bad as other people think, right?
Okay.
So you fool yourself, right? What is it, the Stockholm syndrome? You fool yourself into thinking that it isn't a baby, right? You have to believe otherwise, because if you believe it's actually a baby, it pretty much destroys your whole worldview. And that's the thing. They're not going to allow themselves to be their worldviews to be destroyed.
So that they're the people who are, you think most of the people who are pro-choice are kind of fooling themselves mentally, going through mental gymnastics to think that what they're doing is morally correct.
Exactly.
Is that what
exactly? Like, they care about women's, they care about, women. We care about women choosing what to do with their body. Yet when women are scared about their safe spaces, i.e., their locker rooms, their bathrooms, their sports, how dare you? How dare you want to control your safe spaces, right? How dare you?
Right.
It's like, do you care about women's rights or do you not? That's the thing. That's the hypocrisy. Why they try their best not to counteract other points, but they literally, that's their beliefs, right? If you dig in deeper, their beliefs are always hypocritical, right? So it doesn't make sense.
How about the gender wage gap? That's been proven multiple times to be not true.
Yes, that's why I think it's ridiculous that any single person right now still believes it.
Yeah, I don't think that point is brought up too much anymore. Have you seen it brought up too much anymore? I think it's been demolished, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Don't you think?
demolished, right? It's demolished, but like I
It
said,
comes
there
up
are
every
still
once in a
people
while.
yeah, there's still people who foolishly think that. Okay, this is why, to be honest, why I even talk about the gender wage gap, because that's one of the gender wage gap, abortion are one of the few things feminists are hanging on to. Because I've said this countless time before. I think feminism is useless. Today, feminism is useless. What are you fighting for?
Right.
So this is
Yeah.
why women have to create, certain propaganda, certain issues, so they have something to fight for. Right. And I think this is why I said it's fake. I say all these shit because feminists needs an oppressor. Because if without an oppressor, they can't be a victim. Without being a victim, their movement is useless.
Yeah. Do you think, I don't know. Do many politicians currently, contemporarily, um, uh, campaign on feminism? I think it's kind of fading to
I
me.
mean, to be honest, I mean, they're still campaigning on abortion stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
Gender wage gap, they don't have nothing much to stand on, so
Right.
I don't see them talking about that. Um, so no, yeah, I mean, uh, they're not, but I think it's like I think feminism is the root of all evil. So I think that them campaigning on, let's say, the alphabet community shit, um, abortion stuff, immigrant things. It pretty much, it's because of feminism is the gateway drug, so it opens the way to all these other things.
About trans women. That's the interesting thing. The I think some, it's just weird how it's crept up into into our political landscape just really
Mm,
really really slowly, because
mhm.
most of the time, trans, that used to be like trannies, and
Yeah, or
that was kind of
cross-dressers, or
like a fetish kind of thing, like
yes,
Lou Reed and all the that's Lou Reed saying about all those, about what was that song? He was famous for you know having sex with transsexuals and being friends with a lot of transsexuals. This was like in the 70s, but they called them trannies.
mm,
But I agree with you. There's a lot of trans women that are mentally unstable.
yeah,
And my theory, this is my theory. So there are, men who are able to pass as women
mm,
just as you look at them, right? But it's a very, very low percentage. I used to think it was about 10% of women, if you just, or men that cross-dressed, and
yeah,
you looked at them, you said, oh, that's a that's a pretty woman, but it wasn't a woman. I thought it was about like 10% of the trans people that were able to pass. Now I think it's about 5% are who are able to pass. But what happens is that the rest, whatever percentage of the trans community that can't pass, what happens is they become obsessed with passing, right? And it short circuits their mind because they're always trying to pass, and they'll spend money on passing, and they'll
mm,
be upset about passing, and they're never going to be able to pass.
no,
So
yeah,
it's those people that can't pass, it's going to short circuit their mind. So I don't know, there's that guy, that Lilly guy. You remember, right?
yeah,
That
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
He's not passable.
He's he's
He
definitely
he.
not.
So
He's
he
definitely not.
in his mind he's going crazy because
Yes,
he kind of thinks he is passable, but people don't see it.
no,
But like Blair White, she's kind of passable.
I don't know who that one is.
She's kind of a conservative. She's a
Oh wait, I think I know. Yeah, I think
yeah.
I know. Well, I think
She's
she went full on plastic surgeries.
yeah,
Like her
right. She had
face
a whole
is
bunch of
reconstructed, her
surgeries and all
body,
that stuff.
everything is reconstructed.
Right.
I don't even know if the other person we just mentioned was that I don't even know if they had bottom surgery. So
Right.
this is the thing. My thing is that I don't care, right? You wanna
Right.
live the life you want to live, whatever, right? I just think that one, it's definitely mental instability. Two, it's like just like that. What is that? You talking about the first one, right? Lily thing.
Those that one.
That person's trying to
Yeah.
push
Right.
their ideology on
Right.
the people. You must call me a woman. You must call me a woman. You don't call me a woman, I'm gonna cancel you or whatever. It's like
Right.
seriously.
But he does that because he knows deep inside himself that he's not passable.
Yeah.
And it's either one of two things. It's either a grift, or he is mentally unstable because he wants to be passable, and there's no way he is ever going to be passable no matter what he does.
Yes. Yes.
And,
I agree.
he's following this. He might have surgery. He might have surgeries. I don't know. He might take hormones, but he's never gonna be passable.
No, I just can't because I think to be honest, I think it's too late for him. What is he in his 30s? You're gonna be you got to be like
He just
completely 100% resurgery yourself.
Yeah, he looks ridiculous.
He does.
But you know what I thinking about, so I in about 100 years, so right now medical technology is not at the point where, even with surgeries and things like that, they're not going to make you passable if you're not of the 5 to 10% of men who can be passable. It's just not going to work. But in 100 years, medical technology will evolve so that on the genetic level, they'll be like surgeries where they can rearrange your genes. And if you want to be a passable woman, you'll have the ability to be have the ability to be a woman, actually.
Well, I have heard that they're going to create fake wombs and all that stuff. So
Right.
Yes, technology is going to go crazy. I wouldn't be surprised that in the next couple decades or whatever.
It's not decades. It's going to be it'll be 100 about 10 decades. 10
a
decades.
century or something.
But the thing about trans people when they have bottom surgery is either cutting off.
I did not know that if you don't continue to keep it open, it's going to close. I did not know that.
Right, but they both trans women and trans men, they can't have orgasms.
I did not know that too.
So it's just all this. It's just superficial plastic surgery.
Yeah, that's
so. Why would someone give that? Why would someone give up an orgasm just to?
And that's purely mental instability, right? It's like you are literally there's something wrong with you. Okay, there's something wrong with you. I just think it's ridiculous. I really do. I just think this is a new level of crazy. And to be honest, you want to be crazy in your own house, cool. But you want to be crazy out in the real world in public, well, I'm sorry. Bring back shame. So
women need to choose. Women need to choose better men. If they don't, it's their own fault. I agree with that, but the problem is women are attracted to that, I think, deep down. Right?
I agree. Women are attracted to bad men. Women are.
It's kind of self-defeating for them.
It is.
You'd have to have laws like we had in the past to stifle women from having as many choices as they have.
That is a way. For me, it's like to be honest, I'm always about I don't care to hinder anyone's rights or whatever. I'm more like, you know what? You cannot blame no one. Stop. My problem is like I'm not one of the people who let's repeal the 19th Amendment. No, give it to them. But let's say at the end of the day, you blame no one for your actions besides yourself. That is my issue. That's more my point for number 8. Okay, it's stop blaming men. I just did a video the other night of a woman saying that her husband of whatever years has left her for another woman, and she said you can't trust men. What are you talking about, men? You're married to one man, and that's
Right.
my problem. Where women pick the terrible man and then blame men in general or all men for their bad choices, and I think that's the problem I have with how women go about things. That's idiotic.
Uh, one, I mean, there are several laws that wouldn't couldn't that wouldn't restrict choice, but would curtail women in their that would put a kind of a roadblock in front of their bad choices. They could still make the bad choices, but the problem with the laws we have in the United States is that women vote um, more than men do.
Yeah,
So,
they do.
so in order for any law to pass, you'd have to have a bunch of women that vote for the law. Like I think we should bring back, we should bring back fault divorces. So now we
Yeah.
have no fault divorces. There should be divorces that are fault divorces.
No, okay, I get what you're going for, and I 100% agree. No fault divorces, automatic 50-50 custody, automatic paternity tests when the baby is born.
Right. Yep.
It
Yep.
will. It will. It
Yeah.
will be automatic. I swear, right? If we do that, I think that men will just like, fine. We'll agree to everything else. We'll be fine with everything else. If you do that, I think it will be revolutionary.
Yeah. Paternity tests. A couple states have that, right?
I think so. Yeah,
And it's
and
kind of growing.
like
Yeah.
a couple states have had the paternity test. A couple states have re-intimated. Done the whole no fault divorce or fault based divorces,
Right.
and it
Yeah.
has drastically decreased divorce. Right? I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
it's like a cliff, and that literally is a proof of what men are talking about. Right? Yeah, and I would agree. If we do that, it definitely would give women more like I mean. Uh, Give more onus to women's bad behaviors and bad choices. They got to make it right.
Yeah. It is odd that women are some women, not all women, but I probably say a majority of women, 51%, don't
Yeah.
like paternity at
Mm,
paternity test at birth. Correct? Do you agree with
mhm,
that?
mhm.
That at least
I agree. I would
yeah.
agree.
But it's odd that women do you think when women they're, let's say they're married and then they're sleeping with three or four other men and having sex with three or four other men and get pregnant, do you think they choose the bad guy to identify as the father or the good man?
They choose the good man because they want stability for the child,
Right.
but they want to get pregnant by the bad man.
Right.
So
And
they want to get pregnant by the bad man, choose the good man to be the father. Yeah, that, I think I saw someone who said it. Like there's about and there are some studies that says with paternity tests that have been done, about 20 to 35% of them has shown that the fathers weren't the actual fathers.
right.
Right. So there's a good chunk, almost a quarter of them, probably a quarter or more of them are proven not to be the father in the
Right.
cases. So I mean, that's the thing where women don't understand. It's men's peace of mind. If you actually care about your man, you would actually want him to have a peace of mind. But
Right.
obviously they don't.
Yeah, it's funny to me that in our current society, contemporary society, women sort of they live in the moment, right?
Yeah.
So like a man that could provide for them and would love them and protect them is not quite enough. But my question is, do you think bad men have are better in sexual relations than good men? Is that why the women are drawn to these bad men and want to cheat?
Um,
Like,
I would say this. I would definitely say this, that I I will give it where bad men are more experienced with women.
okay,
Right? And that's what I would say. They're more experienced with women. So I think balance of probability, let's say the whole body count thing. I'm pretty sure bad men would have a higher body count
right,
than, let's say, the nice guy.
right,
I think they would dwarf the nice guy's body count. Right. So, you know, with experience, most likely they become, there's a reason why they're experienced. So I mean, yeah, could they be better in bed? Probably, most likely, and by statistically, they probably would be better. But I also think that it's not just really better in bed, but we all know that women are emotionally chaotic. So I think a big stimuli when it comes to sex is that these bad men give these women emotional highs.
okay,
So probably better sex because
right,
you have the emotional highs. So, you go with this chaotic man, this man that always keeps you guessing. This man is like, because I've heard this, I've heard players, bad boys, literally say that, oh, I gotta manipulate this woman to be really angry with me, and then I'm gonna
right,
love bomb her so she can love me. But then I also do something that she can be angry with me again. These
right,
bad men, these players know that I need to give these women high and lows of emotions,
right.
and that's how they can hook these women.
It's just crazy that you have to go through all those machinations to be with a woman. Isn't it crazy?
It is, right? I mean, that's the problem. I think men are facing, where you know a lot of men don't realize what it takes to be with a woman, particularly a woman in the West, right?
Right.
Particularly the women in the West, it's not an easy thing.
So, is your girlfriend still with you?
Yeah,
Okay. So you have a good sex life then?
yeah, I have a
Okay.
good sex life. Yeah, it's a good sex
Okay.
life. I mean,
Okay.
she's, I'm her first.
Okay.
It's
That's
not,
good.
yeah,
Is
and
she
nice.
is she logical and practical?
A little bit.
Mm,
Right. I think she's more modest, right? She's
okay.
more modest, reserved. So, I guess in traditional, she's more like follow a lead. What's your
Okay.
opinion? Follow. And so it's not the worst. Yeah.
Are you gonna put a ring on her?
Yeah, I
You
am.
are.
I am.
Okay. Okay.
I try to be responsible because again, she gave me, she chose me, and
Right.
I'm not the type of man who wants to play around. I don't really like, to be honest.
It's
I hate the
exhausting.
whole dating scene. I hate the
Is
dating scene.
yes, yeah.
So I want to be out of the dating scene, and I want to be true to my word because I do want to. I love kids, so I want to have kids, and I honestly believe if a man's gonna have kids, you should marry her. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. You're a traditional you're a traditional man. That's good. Yeah. No.
no, yeah, I believe men need to have values.
No.
Men need to have values, morals, and principles. So I try my best. I'm very flawed, but I try my best.
And women need men. I think women do need men.
Yeah, they do.
They don't think they do. I don't know why they don't think they do.
It's the insanity because I just recently had a debate with a woman like this, right? Because of shit like this, and it's that women we have, and it's a double edged sword, right? It's a problem with men where we create a world that's so civilized,
Right.
right? We have all the houses, we have all the infrastructure. There's no wild beasts going after women. We have cops that are controlling, to some degree, terrible men. And there's money there. There's you get a job. It's like we have created a world where women have the opportunity, the freedom to say they don't need a man. When honestly, you don't realize that the phone you use, the electricity you use, the water you use, everything you use is thanks to a man. But because we don't equate those, those, everyday luxuries, everyday things to men, you just and women think that, oh, because you're single, you don't need a man. No, right? You still need a man, even if you're single. But we create a world where women are too privileged to see that fact. It's just, I think it's a sad thing because it's so unappreciative, right? Because I said this, I've always given respect to blue collar men, right? I've always given respect to
Yeah.
the police, the military, men that have made it possible for us to have the freedoms and the enjoyments we have. I just think it's disgusting that women don't see that and can disrespect the men that are so important to our lives.
Yeah, because all those blue collar jobs, they're kind of hard. you know,
Yes.
Construction jobs are hard. You're going to blow out your back.
Yeah.
It's very physical. I don't think women can do that stuff. They're not physically able to. I mean, probably maybe 1 or 2% of women could, but not the super majority of women. They can't
No.
do construction or they can't do heavy lifting.
Yeah. I mean, like a lot of women say, oh, there are women there. Yeah, there are women, but they're not the majority. Hell, they're the smallest, a small minority. I think in most blue collar jobs, I think women make up less than 5%, less than maybe even I could even go bigger, maybe less than 15% of those jobs. So really, if you take out every woman that's working a blue collar job, the world will still move on, right? So,
Right.
but hypothetically, I mean, differently, if you take out, nurses, yeah, we will have a deficit, right?
Right.
If you take out nurses, if you take out, I don't know, social workers, therapists, then yeah, we'll have issues there. But blue collar men, the men that do infrastructures, the men that can help your day to day, help your life, yeah, we would be in chaos.
It's amazing. I work. There are good women in this world. I worked with this woman. She was her mother was from the Philippines, and her dad was like in the Navy from the U.S. And then she joined the 82nd. So I worked with her when I was working at the VA.
Mhm.
She was a really hard worker. So and I got along with her really good because she was she was just a really good worker. But we when we were talking about she was in the 82nd Airborne, and she was in Afghanistan.
Mhm.
And I was saying, what we should do is we should make a battalion of all women and send them into combat. And she was going, and she looked at me and she said, "That's not going to work." So she she was very cognizant of what the abilities of women were. So yeah, she was like this unicorn of a woman, but she was married, and then she betrayed me to get a better position somewhere else.
Okay. Yeah.
But I say that, but I don't hold it against her.
No. Yeah. Yeah. I
But
mean, like,
I was kind of mad that she left because I
no.
worked with her so well.
I get it. I get it. Yeah. I mean, hell, if I was rich, I would definitely do it where, any of these situations, like, I don't know, buy an island and like every single feminist, give them a chance to build their utopia. You
Right.
supply them with all their resources. Let's see them
Right.
actually build the utopia. Hell, I would say that, okay, let's actually do create that, right? Let's do what like every woman that's in the military now, let's put them all in one unit and let's
Right.
actually send them out, right? Let's actually do it because I think there's enough women in the military to make up a whole unit. So let's do it, right? Let's okay. Let's prove men wrong. I mean, like I'm glad to do. I wouldn't. This is the thing where I think a lot of women misjudge men's content side. It's that men don't. It's not that men don't want women to succeed or whatever. It's just that we don't see it being possible or we don't see it likely. Okay.
Right.
I mean, there's no company for women doing plumbing, all these stuff, electrical, all this stuff. There's none. There's no women, being infantry unit. There's none.
Right.
So we just say this is the thing where I was arguing with I was debating with a woman today about how they're trying to attack Red Pill, and I said Red Pill is not a man. It's just a group. It's an ideology. It's just the recognition of the world, the real world, right? It's Red Pill, as in the reality of the world. We just view how it's just certain content creators. They view the world and they just talk about it. That's it. They're not necessarily saying making up shit. It's just they see how the world works or what's going on in the world, and they just pretty much regurgitate what they see in the world. Right. So if women want to change it, men will be up for it. Right. Men will see it. Men will look at it. So,
But you're right that men do need women. There are some women who realize it, and there are some women who have been brainwashed. As they get older, they'll realize the mistakes they've made in their life when they get like 50, 60. Because I think like women who are 50, 50, 60, and they're alone and have followed feminism are going to be a lot less happy than a man who is alone at 50 or 60.
No, here's the thing where we have a narrative where men aren't out here screaming that they don't need women. Right now, they may be they live a life where like MGTOW, they live a life where they just couldn't find the right one, or they couldn't find it, so they just give up. But it doesn't mean that they never needed a woman. It's just that they're set in the life of the way the life they have now.
Right.
But I think majority of men know that they need women. Right? Men are
I'd
not
like-
out. Men
right,
are
I'd
not
like
out
to-
here pushing that propaganda.
Yeah, I'd like to have a woman, but I'm not willing, a woman around the house, and I'd take care of her. I have enough assets to do it, but I don't want to go out in the dating market or
Yeah.
it's mentally and
Ah.
physically exhausting to me.
Yes, that's
I
why.
just-
Yeah, I agree.
I just like a woman to show up on my doorstep that is I don't want her to be like a slave or anything. I'd take care of her. I'd spend money on her. Maybe she could garden or plant flowers and all that stuff, and I'd take care of her. And because I'm like my dad. My dad kind of doted on my mom.
Yeah.
And he put my mom he didn't put her on a pedestal, but he always thought of her before himself. And I'm kind of like my dad, but I've never met a woman that I would want to marry.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, this is why I wanted to get off of the dating market. It's tiring, right? And men know.
Happy. Right? I'm happy that you found a good woman.
Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, like again, men want women. Men, I mean, like there are studies that show that men want to get married.
Right.
It's just that men know that getting married is not a good thing. So men want to be in a relationship. Men want women. But a lot of men honestly don't see it as a good thing. Laughing Man, what is up, my brother? What is up? Thank you for being here. Thank you for stopping by. I love you, my brother. Yeah. So
another thing that always kind of stop me from getting involved in women is if I married a woman, she would take half my assets.
Yes.
And I have to pay alimony to her. So I have some assets, and I don't want to just give it to her when she decides she's tired of me.
Exactly. That's why we should have fault-based divorces. And to be honest, I don't think that in today's day and age, I'm sorry, I don't care if you've been with any person for however long, you shouldn't be getting half of anyone's assets.
Right.
I'm sorry, you shouldn't. Right? I mean, if you say, "Oh, what about the kids?" Well, guess what? You should do 50-50 custody. 50-50 custody. So when he's taking care of the kids have no worries. Because this is the thing where sometimes the argument, oh, she used her life, she used years to be a stay-at-home mom. Well, guess what? She had years of no working, no stressing over money. She had everything paid for. So she ha- she gained like she benefited from being staying home mom.
Right.
Why is it that now after she leaves the marriage, she should still benefit from leaving a marriage? No, I'm sorry. You shouldn't. Why is it usually most of the time it's always men that you know probably you like try to go after men more. Okay. I just think that's ridiculous.
If we could get rid of alimony and forfeit and asset forfeiture, 50%,
Uh-huh.
because prenups they don't always work, even
No, they
though
don't.
people, there's lawyers that advertise ironclad prenups.
Hmm.
They don't always work, and there's always that fear that yeah, you're gonna lose your house and lose your assets to a woman who just like maybe didn't love you but just kind of shaded you.
Yeah.
And that's a fear. Even money isn't everything, but it is something, right? You don't
No.
want to lose you don't want to lose all your assets to some woman who just divorced you
True.
for nothing.
Yeah, 100%. That's the thing where, men, yes, money's not everything, but money is, we work hard for it.
Right.
I
Yeah, I
mean,
worked hard. Yeah, right. I worked and planned hard for all the money and all the assets that I have. And I don't want some woman that if I married a woman, I want her just divorce me and get half of everything.
exactly, exactly. I agree. That is why we should make. I believe that, like I said, if we did 50-50 custody, fault based divorces, like paternity tests,
Right.
like that, uh, and probably we should end alimony. We should definitely end
Yeah.
alimony at the
Yes.
very least. At the very least, end alimony. Maybe fifty
Yeah.
fifty, okay, but
Right.
alimony should definitely be out the window.
Yes.
You
I
should not
agree.
pay people continuously for years on end. Some people you pay them for the rest of their life. That's
Right.
ridiculous,
Yeah.
right? That's ridiculous. I don't care if you marry a millionaire or a billionaire. You stop marrying. You stop. You're not with this person anymore. You shouldn't be benefiting from not being with this person.
Right.
That is absolute insanity. And I believe if you do that, things will be changed so much. I agree, right? Curtis, I agree. Be careful who you marry then. I 100% agree. You have to be careful. I will always recommend, like I said, right? If you go, I'm a person who believes that if you're gonna have a child with someone, which I kind of want to have a kid with my current girlfriend, you should marry the person 100%, right? Because if they're giving you something, you should be giving them something in return. I want to give her the security. She wants to give me, offsprings. So that's my view. But you have to be careful. This is why I never blame other people for my mistakes. Right? If like hypothetically, if my relationship falls apart, I blame myself. I picked her, so I don't blame no one. So I want people to have that mindset where okay, you have to choose carefully, and because you chose carefully, whatever happens, you blame no one else but yourself. Guys, I just want to say that link is in the chat. If you have a disagreement, or if you just want to chat, right? If you just want to talk about whatever, you could join. You don't have to. You don't have to cam up. Just a mic is good enough. All right. If you have a disagreement or you just want to talk, just shoot the shit. It's all good. So
Why do women think men are evil or violent? Or
why
most
do
men are evil or violent?
because women are propaganda, feminist propaganda, right? It's feminist propaganda. Yes, I want more kids. I love kids, right? I'm sorry, I love kids. I don't know. I think, to be
It,
honest,
it,
I'm a believer in, as human beings, we need to reproduce. I'm a big believer in that, right? I think as humans, we need to reproduce as much as we can financially, do it, right? Don't
well,
go overboard, right? If you can't afford one kid, don't have a kid, But if you could,
there
you
is a
should be.
there is a caveat to that. As a single white man, I can't say that I love kids.
I
Right?
mean, that's what I'm saying. It's up
No,
to you, right? I love.
no, no. It's if I go if you have,
Oh no,
you
I get it.
understand what I'm
I get it.
saying?
I get it. You're
Never,
right.
never,
You're right. You're right.
never
That
trust a
is,
man who says he loves kids.
and
You don't
that's the
want
demonization
you don't
of
want him to
men.
babysit for you.
Yeah, and that's the demonization of men, and that's exactly what you're talking about, right? The men are violent thing. It's it is like we talked about before with the gender wage gap and abortion. Women need men to be oppressors. If men are not the
Right?
oppressors, women
No.
have no way to claim victimhood, because women love to say this. Women love to say this. Oh, 95% of crimes are committed by men. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But there's a difference, right? Saying 95% of crimes are committed by men is a drastic difference between 95% of men commit crimes. It is two very different
Right.
uh,
Correct. Yeah.
talking points.
Right.
Majority of men do not commit crimes. Only
No.
a small percent of men commit crimes. But sadly, the crimes that are committed, yes, majority of them are by men. But so what? It's a small percentage of men. I believe in the U.S. alone, under 5% of men actually commit crime. So really, it's like, are you kidding me? You're gonna blame 5% of men? And I'm actually, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? If anyone wants to, I believe I'm actually highballing it. I think it's a probably 1%, right? But I'm just giving it a bit of more, leeway, where it's a very small percent of men actually commit crimes. So you can't blame a small percent of men and say all men. And that's what feminists want to do. Women make the choice of having kids, so maybe they would think twice if they were automatic common law. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. No, I can't be Nick Cannon. I don't. I'm not gonna have like, 4 or 5 baby mamas, right? I'm not gonna. I can't
Well,
afford that many.
well,
So, but you know,
common law. What are they talking about? Common law.
well, if
Just
you live with a woman for long
right.
enough,
Right.
certain states will say that you're automatic married, right?
Right.
And I think that's so stupid.
So what was that comment about? It's better, but choice of their own. Women make choice of having kids, so maybe they
Oh, yeah, I mean,
I don't get that comment. Women make the choice of having kids.
I just think we should also be careful. Be
Okay.
careful with who we have kids with.
Yeah. Yes. Be careful who you have sex with.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, be
Yeah.
careful with who you have sex with. 100%.
Not just kids. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
100%.
I've been watching a lot of. I mean, I don't have a lot of um friends who I talk. I don't have any friends, but I can't get, so I can't get empirical evidence. But watching videos, men are kind of checking out of even having sex with women.
Yeah, I've been hearing that too. I heard that too. I
Which I
think
think is, I think
I,
that's a good thing for the men.
I mean, I definitely think that we should have discipline,
Right.
but I don't know. The problem is, right? I mean, I think there are certain studies that says men 18 to 25 are less interested in women than ever before. I think that's not the worst idea, right? But the issue is
Right.
that where are these men gonna, put their energy towards?
Right.
I don't think
Right.
these men are putting their energy towards building a life, building a career,
Right.
building a future, and that's the problem. Okay, I believe a lot of these men are just dejected, where they're just sadly probably just stay at home and just do nothing, right? Or just
Right.
game or smoke weed or just waste
Right.
life, and that's not going to lead you nowhere, right? I would love it if like these men would like take a step back from women and just focus on building their life,
Right.
military, some kind of a business, some kind of a
Right.
career, right? Whatever. I think those would be so much better for men than just be obsessed with women, particularly around that age, right? 18 to 25
Right.
is a valuable time where you should be building your future, right? You should be the start of building, um, building the building blocks of your future, right? So,
Yeah, I think you're correct. When men of 18-24, they have some um lust, they're kind of lusting for women.
hmm
So, but yeah, you could put that lust into, you could divert that lust into building a business. Going to
yes,
the military is a good thing,
yeah,
but but this is my I would say men should don't go into the Air Force or the Navy, because those are feminine feminine branches.
Marines. What
Go
do we
into
recommend?
the Marines or the Army.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely to be top soldiers like Marines, that would be pretty badass. But I don't think many men would be able to pass it. But if more, wouldn't be bad.
If I can go through basic if I can go through basic training in the Army, anyone could go through basic training in the Army
Mm, that is cool.
or the Marines.
Yeah.
But do that, and then see if you can get into combat, because
Mm,
you want to be tested as a man.
yeah. Yeah.
Most people don't think that most I know this is probably pretty controversial, but I think men should be tested in combat to see if you
Mm.
can take it.
I kind of see that point. I do.
Yeah,
I mean,
because it's weird. Combat is very weird. If you can
yeah.
make it, and yeah, it's very weird. Like, it's hard to describe, but if you can make it in if you can go into combat and well, you might not survive, but if you can make it,
No.
um,
No. Yeah. The physical and psychological toll. If you
you know,
can, weather that storm, you'll probably come out a whole lot stronger. I don't disagree. But it would definitely weed out a lot of weak men.
yes, I guess it's not for everyone, right?
It's not. I mean,
Right.
I think only a select few men can come out of there stronger and unscathed. I think, I mean, you're a vet, so you probably know it. Like a lot of men come out of there just completely destroyed and wrecked, which is a sad thing, right? It's a sad thing, and to be honest, I think it's more that because they come in there young, right? They
Right.
go in there
Yeah.
young, so they don't
Yeah.
have the mental fortitude,
Well,
right?
that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because combat it's a young man's game.
I mean, yeah, the combat itself
Yeah.
is a young man's game, but
Yeah.
the result of it, sadly, it's a double edged sword. Sadly, you need an older man's mind, right, where you've
Yeah.
been through shit and you
Yeah.
can weather that storm. So it's crazy, right? You need the experience of the mind, but the youth of the body. So it's crazy.
Yeah. Yes. But my anxiety for combat didn't affect me till I was like 45.
Really?
Yeah. So I was probably like 24. I was older. So I was a I my story is just crazy. I graduated college, and then I was such a loser that I
Mm,
didn't have anything to do, so I joined the military. And I joined just to travel Europe for
okay.
free, which I did.
Mm,
And then somehow I got in. I just by happenstance, I was in the Desert Storm, the first Gulf War.
mm,
So it's just a weird confluence of events that I
interesting.
became that I was in combat.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I
Because
mean,
yeah, it's crazy, but combat is very weird. It's extremely it's just surreal. But
uh-huh.
I think all men should. I think it's like a test
Yeah.
for men.
I,
But it's
I
probably
definitely
it's
Yeah, I
not for
definitely agree.
everyone though.
No, I
It's
definitely
weird.
agree. I mean, at the very least, all men should be in a fight.
I've never been in a fight, but I've been in
Really?
combat.
Well, I mean, I think you make up for being in war, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of made up for it. It's either, you know what, it's either you're in the military, wars and stuff, or you've had a fight before. DA, have you heard the old saying? I don't know who made this up, but basically, don't go to the army because women only smash the men in the Marines, which is hilarious and kind of true. Who knows? I never heard of that. I mean, I mean, the Marines are the top quality men. Ah, Zyrax, my sister. What is up? What is up?
Yeah. The only problem with Marines is they're not you can't really have an intelligent conversation with them.
Really?
Yeah, because they're low IQ.
Ah, so they're just meatheads. Okay.
Well, that's the ribbing I give to people who are in the Marines. But I respect them. My dad was a Marine.
No. Yeah, yeah. Mad respect.
I was gonna go join the Marines right out of high school, and my dad convinced me not to.
Mm, okay. That's interesting.
Isn't that crazy?
That is interesting. Zyrax. I mean, if you're up for it, let's. I think it'll be have a fun back and forth tonight. If you want, I wanted to gear tonight's to be for people who disagree. Right?
Yes.
I'm just chilling with Tim Whiskey. But I mean, if anyone stops by and disagrees, I'm ready to have a debate, have a conversation. If you are down, my sister. Yeah, I wish I could join or do anything physically like that. But reality is I have to legit physical disability that prevents. Here's the thing where yeah, I mean, like for me, when I before I was gonna exit high school, I was so ready to join the army, right? My mom literally was like in tears. She would not allow me to do it. She was really against it. And I was a typical mama's boy. So I was like, fine, I won't do it. But I was so, because I didn't, to be honest, after high school, I really did not know my senior year, I really did not know what I wanted to do with life.
Same here.
I was so directionless. And I honestly believe any man that's directionless, any man that has no goals in life, to be honest, you should join the army, marine, or whatever. You should join because at the very least, it's an automatic direction. And take that time to build yourself physically, probably monetarily, explore the world, build yourself mentally because you're exploring the world, you're getting more, experiences. So at the very that's what I thought too, right? I wanted to gain more experience while not knowing what I wanted to do with life. So I don't know. I mean, I really always wonder what would have happened if I did it. So I'm definitely missing that. I'll definitely join you. Give me a few minutes to finish up and yeah, Zyrax. I'm waiting for you. I'll wait for you. I would definitely want to have a good back and forth. But yeah, I really did wanted to join the army. I didn't think about the Marines. Maybe I should have, or maybe if I thought about that, maybe I would. But life, life, life is funny in that way, right? Life is funny that way. It didn't happen for me, so it is what it is. Yeah. Thank you guys for being here. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Um, but yeah, I mean, if anyone comes up, if you have a disagreement, if you have a opposing opinion, I would definitely, here's your opportunity. You don't have to cam up, just mic up, right? Just mic up. Let's have a conversation.
Step in, take a seat, bring your mind to the table. No need to raise your voice just to prove that you're able.
Oh, Laughing man, you bring up the good questions, right? You always bring up the good questions. So, what do you think about the new remake of Troy? I think it's going to be a shit show.
Horrible.
Yeah,
Y-
I
y-
think it's going to be a shit show. Big bars. What is up, my brother? What's up? I think it's, to be honest, the whole what is it, the Ellen Page thing, including her into her being Achilles. Are you kidding me? She's
That's
scrawny.
crazy.
I don't even care if it was, even if it was a man, right? A real man, but a scrawny man. Why would you pick a scrawny man to be, Achilles, a very supposedly masculine man? That time, you pick a weak, scrawny man to represent that. I think that's crazy.
So what was the premise of what is it's just to swap genders and sexes in that movie? Is
Well,
that
I
it?
mean that's one thing, right? They did that, but it's just, it's the telling of the Odyssey.
Right.
I see that they're doing the little things where, you know,
The Iliad and the Odyssey. These
yeah,
are
yeah.
Homer. This is classic. Well, yeah, classic. This is but this is pre-classic Western literature.
Hmm.
We don't even know who wrote the Odyssey.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
So
Yeah,
the movie they're race swapping and gender swapping. Is that correct?
yes, I know. I think
It's
that I think they're doing that for Helena, and they're doing, for the Achilles thing.
right.
Again, I don't know how deep they're going. So because it's like, I think trailers and some rumors. It's still, I believe. I mean, I believe it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think a lot of this, at least the race swapping thing, is still rumor because we don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's no black people during that time or in that area. But
Right.
yeah, they're race swapping. They're using Ellen Page, a scrawny ass trans man, to be the supposedly to be Achilles. So
Right.
I think that's crazy.
Achilles. Hector. I wonder who they're gonna get to play Hector.
I don't
Hector is
know.
Hector is the person that is the character I always thought was like a tragic hero.
Which one is that?
That's the guy. Hector is the hero of Troy, who, but he's not the guy who stole away Helen.
Oh,
He's just a hero of Troy, so he has to go fight Achilles,
uh,
who can't who who is impervious to injury except because he was dipped in the river of Styx
yeah, yeah.
by his tendon. So his
Yep.
tendon is his only weak point.
Well, I don't know how deep they're going into that story. For what I at least from what I've seen with the trailer, they're just going to focus on the Odyssey part, right? The what is the decades long travel.
Right.
So I don't know.
Odyssey.
I mean, we'll see what they do. I don't know. I mean, it is Christopher Nolan, right? So he's definitely a popular director.
So there's two books, the Iliad and the Odyssey. The the
I think
I
they're
don't know
combining a little bit of it.
is there's the part where they siege Troy to get Helen back, and there's the part where it's not Achilles because I there's part where someone else, another Greek hero, travels back to Greece where his wife has been his people suitors are trying to get him trying to get uh, the wife to marry them, right? So that's the Iliad and the Odyssey,
Hmm,
I think, if I remember correct.
I believe so.
So is this the Iliad? Is this the siege of Troy, or is this the travel back home?
I think to travel back home, at least from what I saw from the trailer, right? We're seeing his travel back
Oh, okay.
home, but I think they're
So
combining a little bit of it.
okay.
So
So this trans man is going back to meet her wife in Greece. That's crazy. Yeah, well, man, that could work, but it's kind of crazy though. I don't know why they have to do that. Why do they always have to remake classic because we already had a classic movie of that with right of the Odyssey and the Iliad. Didn't we, that was just like 10 years ago, correct?
I don't remember it.
But I suppose that story is kind of an archetype story, correct?
It is, yeah.
Right. So that's why they're doing it, and they don't have to pay for it. So
That's true.
right, they don't have to pay the author anything because it's Homer.
It's public in public domain.
Right.
Organic, what is up, my brother? Thank you for stopping by, my brother. I missed you. Right, it's been a while. Hope you're doing well.
So, DA, are we going to get someone in here that disagrees with us?
I don't know.
Who is that person we were talking to?
Zyrax, but I don't know.
Zyrax, she'll come in, or he or she.
She. But I don't know when. I mean, she says she's doing something, so I don't know when if she finishes it. I don't know.
We'll be nice to her, right? We're always nice.
Okay. All right. Lovely. What's up, my sister?
Hi, DA. How are you?
What's up? I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. You know.
Okay. How's the family?
Same as usual. Nothing has changed.
Okay.
How about you? Hi, Tim.
Hello. How are you doing? We'll be nice to you. You're wrong, but we'll be nice to you.
All right. So, I mean, I just wanted to create a little bit of a conversation tonight. If it's weird, like I had this conversation early in the day, a debate with quite a few people a lot of people were disagreeing with me. So I was hoping that there would be, more people that would show up because they said that they wanted to actually have a voice debate. Okay. Sadly that, no one showed up. No one had the guts to do it. Right. So I'm crazy happy that, you would come here tonight to, facilitate probably the, the opposition. I don't know if you disagree with everything or agree with some stuff. I don't know, but let's see. So these are, the topics for tonight. Any one of these are things that I believe in, right? So pretty much every one of these I vehemently believe in. I'm very open-minded. I always say that I'm logical. So if it makes sense that, let's say you have a counter argument, I'm very open to it. Okay. I don't believe to be very stubborn and pig-headed with opinions. So,
Nope,
what would you want to start with if there's anything you vehemently disagree with?
Let me see. No, for the first one, body count does matter. Is that for women, or is that it doesn't matter, men or women?
Okay, so let me put a basis on it, right?
Uh-huh.
So I believe yes, body count matters for both men and women.
I agree.
But the problem is, right? The problem is that men and women are different. Men value body count, women don't. Right? Women don't value body count, and I could always go in deeper, but yes, I do believe body count matters for both sides.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that too.
Okay, but do you agree? Here's the thing. Do you agree with this? Where the problem is that women don't care about body count, right? They say it, right? If you talk about it, right? They may say they care, but in reality, women don't care. Do you agree with that?
I think for the most part, women we do care about the body count, but it's just that oftentimes, no. Okay, let me say this. Like this, the dating market, it's a lot different from back in my days, and so usually the body count, it's not high for a man or a woman, and so therefore, like, we would say it don't matter because we wouldn't expect this we wouldn't expect this person to have a high body count, and so I can see why in this day and age why why it would matter.
Yeah. But do you think that today, I mean, just looking around, right? Women, modern day women, do you think that women actually care about body count?
Yes.
Okay. Now, here's my view why I say women don't. Now, women say it, but they don't. Why don't they? Because women don't realize that they pick men that have high body count. So women usually pick, let's say, the charmer, the men that are good looking, right? There are certain dating statistics that show that 80% of women find 20% of men attractive. So guess what? The 20% of men, I guarantee you, they have a high body count. Women love charming men. Women love wealthy men. Women love tall men, good looking men. So in general, what I'm saying is that women love, in general, not all women, but women in general, majority of women, they love and they pick and they would fall for top tier men, high value men, highly desirable men. So it's not blatant, but I can guarantee you these men that women obviously most likely choose, these men have high body counts, right? So without knowing it, without, in your face bluntness, women up subconscious or unconsciously or whatever pick men with high body counts.
In theory, that I would agree with you, but then see, here's the thing, though. We're talking about average women. Are average women really getting the top tier men? No, they're not. That's, it's just like it's like a preference, like you would like this person to have this trait or whatever, but if it don't, then you know, hey, it's fine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we want it's more so the experience. I think maybe women value like experience more
Mhm.
than it's not necessarily like you know the quantity. We women, we want quality, and so that's
um
why.
yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I
Okay.
agree. But the issue is that quality, right? And this is the thing where, and I agree, right? I mean, average women don't usually get, let's say, top tier men. I agree with
Yes.
that. But
Hmm.
we can't negate the fact that they want to. And let's say the thing, right? They don't, I would say this: average women don't get top tier men for long term relationships. But with how things are nowadays, I think a lot of average women are having sex with these top tier men. And if they were given the chance, they would definitely choose these men for long term partners. But again, it's just that they don't get those
Well,
chances.
yes, because they're the top. They're
Yeah.
the yeah, they're the best. So of course, why wouldn't they want to hold on to them? But and that's the problem is that women, we just because they sleep with this, that does not guarantee a ring. That does not
Yeah.
guarantee a future with that person. That does not guarantee that they're gonna um, be our be the providers or anything. No, they just want a body.
I agree. I
Right.
agree.
So,
Mhm.
Cyrex, can I
Mhm.
ask a question?
Of course.
So why would a woman knowingly have sex with a man? Um, just have sex with a man, knowing that it's just platonic and nothing is going to come of it. Is it
Um,
just for the pleasure of having sex, or is there a plan to it?
for the most part, I think there's a plan to it because even though um even though the intent was to just sleep and then just to sleep and then maybe go in your own separate ways, but we know that sometimes people they sleep and then they end up getting they bond, they
Yeah. Right.
yeah, and so
But
that's where you get this whole like, oh, a woman thinks that she could change a man or whatever. Yeah, it's the same thing. And so, as long as she's able to get through the door, she's hoping that maybe she could, work her magic and yeah, and keep them.
Mm.
right. Would you agree or disagree that women um have more decide who they're going to have sex with, even like an average woman can decide who they're going to have sex with,
Yes,
like, right,
yes, we have, autonomy. So yes, we choose who we
right,
want to sleep with. Yeah, and so if we end up sleeping with someone that's no good for us, then that's on
right.
us.
So why do women always let's say so if there's like I consider myself a pretty good person and a pretty good man. I would treat a woman pretty good. I'm not gonna hit her. I'm gonna provide for her. I'm gonna protect her. I'm gonna give her gifts. I'm gonna you know dote on her. Why is it that a woman is gonna choose a man who's just gonna kind of be abusive to her and not care about her? Why would that woman choose that man over me? What is the psyche of that woman of
Well,
women kind of generally?
well, oftentimes, a woman doesn't. I mean, when she picks the bad guy, it's not because she knows that he's a bad guy, or or she knew that he was an abuser. That usually doesn't come out until like after after a few weeks, right?
Right?
That so-called bad side of the dude, and so it's not so much as that she would rather um, pick a bad guy over a nice guy. Is just oftentimes bad guys they um
Are charming.
I wouldn't necessarily say they're charming, but then because um they're they're just more bold,
Right, right,
they
right,
yeah, they're more bold. A nice guy tend to I mean, well, he's nice, right? He cares about what she thinks. He cares about,
right,
like her feelings and stuff. And a bad dude, he doesn't care about
right.
her feelings. And so women, we tend to confuse, that as like, oh, he's, oh, he tells it, as it is. He's honest. He's, you know, um, if I need help, he's gonna be there. He's gonna be my knight in shining armor. And
The bad guy
yeah,
or the good guy? The
no,
bad guy is gonna say
yeah, she's thinking that the bad guy is gonna be the knight in
right,
shining armor. When of course we all know that it's always the nice guy that's the knight in shining armor,
right,
Mm.
not the bad guy. And we don't find that out until, of course, after we've been,
right. Do
um,
you,
mhm.
so do you think women are genetically like inclined to choose like a a bad like a bad man who's not going to treat them very nice over a good man who's going to treat them nice and protect them and stand up for them and provide for them?
No,
Do you think it's do you think
what
it's like
women,
do you
no,
think it's
I don't. Yes, yes, I do think so. Biologically, we want the fittest of the, as this, yeah, the survival of the fittest. That's like the biggest, right? We want the most capable man.
right?
We want someone who has great qualities. Who shows, who has like maybe physical strength, intelligence, and stuff
Um,
like that. Because women, we at the end of the day, we always resort to, like self-preservation, and we want to be, yeah, in a way, we want to be taken care of, and we want to make sure that if we're going to spend the rest of our life with you, that you are going to be able to, provide stability, security. And
but
so, go ahead.
but do you think that the bad man is going to provide? This is a it's a weird juxtaposition because
Yeah.
the bad
Mhm.
man that women kind of like it,
Well, here's my let me
aren't going to provide for you. Aren't going
I wanna see if Zyrex would agree with this instead. Where here's my thing where yes, deep down, women would love stability. But in
right.
practice, women don't love stability
Yeah,
because
I think that's
in
right.
practice, women love. Here's how I view it. Right, women are emotional creatures,
Yes.
and what I think a lot of women thrive on, emotional situations where you could say that women are more empathetic or sympathetic than men in general, right? Or
Mhm.
I see so many women saying, "Oh, I'm an empath," shit like that. Okay, but I think a lot of women and I see my mom. Like my mom loves watching Korean drama, and every time I see her watch it, she always cries. I'm just like, why are you watching it? So you cry, and like that's the reason she wants to cry all the time, right? She wants that emotional kick, and I believe that although women, yes, they would love stability, The problem is the men that will give them stability won't give them emotional highs. I've seen players say this a lot, right? That this is a tactic they will use where they will love bomb a woman and then make the woman hate him, and then love bomb him again, love bomb her again, and then make her hate him again to give her emotional highs so she can be obsessed with them. So she can like always don't know what's going to happen being with this man. While there's, I don't know, but if you have heard of this, right? But there are certain studies that out there that have shown that women from a higher degree get bored quicker than men in long-term stable relationships. Women get bored quicker in instability. Now they want it in practice. I mean, they want it in mentally deep down they want it, but in practice they seem to not enjoy it, find happiness in stability. They don't find happiness in something that's habitual, which is usually stable, right? Stable is usually habitual, right? A lot of times.
Or they don't know what happiness is. They're striving for happiness in ways that are destructive.
But it's that momentary highs, right? The momentary highs,
right?
Right? You get a happiness right there.
Yeah. I think women, they want like this dopamine hit of excitement and romance and allure. And so, what do you think of that, Zyrax?
I in a way I do agree, but then I sort of disagree. I agree in the sense that women we tend to, we say we want stability, we want security, but for some reason our actions doesn't it doesn't show that we want it shows that we want chaos, because we like you said, we like to chase we like to chase for some reason, right? And so I agree with you there. Women, we do. I mean, who do? I don't know. Boredom. I think that's just everybody, right? It's all about. It just comes down to whether or not you know how to do something about it. And oftentimes, women, because see, this is where I differ because if I'm bored, I could just read a book. I'm fine being by myself. I'm not gonna go and bug my like my husband if I'm bored. That's just so dumb because I would not want him to come bug me when he's bored. I grew up sort of in a semi chaotic environment, and so what I want is stability. What I want is security. So I guess it just depends on the person. I don't want, or I don't, if you're going to try to, make me chase you and, chase, um, whether it's, emotionally or whatever, I'm out. I'm gone. Like, I'm not going to play that game. And so that's why, like I said, it just depends on the woman, her upbringing and stuff like that, because it's go ahead.
So Zyrax, you don't sound like you disagree with what we're saying. Do you disagree generally with DA or?
It's hard to say, but then if I had to put a number, I would go. I would agree with you guys more. And in general, yes, the percentage got it.
You're a very logical woman. We need, me and DA want a woman on here who's out of her mind.
No, it's all good, right? It's all good.
Right.
I would say this, right? I definitely.
It's good. It's good to know that you're around. Yeah. So I agree. There are lots of good women in this world.
No, that is why I prefer to talk in generality, right?
Yeah.
I always want to. That's why I want a preference, right? When we talk, particularly like these subjects, right? I know plenty of women, that's opposite to a lot of things I say. But again, when I say women, I'm going to at least. When I say women, I literally mean at least 51%.
Right.
Definitely, that's not like all of women, but that's generally majority of women. So that's why I just literally had an argument with another woman today on her own live, right, on TikTok, right? how she can literally say all men, but you don't realize that it's not all men. Okay. And a lot of times these women don't even mean 51% of men, right? So when they say men, they mean all men. And that is the problem with a lot of these conversations where I preference it. I don't mean all women, right? I know women aren't the worst things ever, right? I mean, like, so that's where I want to go about it, right? Because I know sometimes you have I guess, a hard time thinking that maybe, oh, he means most women or all women. And that's why it may be hard for you to 100% agree with it, because you may think about yourself, you may think about the women around you. Then I understand that. That's why a lot of times women have a hard time actually having these conversations, because they think that, oh, these men mean all women, when we don't mean all women, right?
No, of course I understand that, but then it's the reason why I have a hard time whether, I'm going to agree with you or not, because of course, one, like, words matter, and I want to be as accurate as possible. And when we have these conversations, it's sort of hard to, like, to tell, because again, I'm not in the dating market,
Yeah,
and so I don't really know, what I hear. Of course I hear people what people are saying, but then oftentimes people, they just be saying stuff, they're not really doing what they're saying.
I agree.
It's not
I
really, it
agree.
doesn't, yeah. And so I have to be careful in how I answer certain questions. That's all.
I agree. And you know what? This is the thing where I always like to do, right? I agree. Words do
Mhm.
matter. This is why I also try to, I mean, I don't do it as often as maybe I should do, but I definitely preference that. A lot of times it's either I mean 51% of women, or I mean internet women, right? Women that are chronically online, women that make videos on TikTok, women that comments on these videos, right? Not necessarily women in the real world walking around. So I definitely see a distinction. Okay. So I definitely agree.
Zyrax, can I ask you a question?
Yes, of course.
If your husband said, Zyrax, go make me a sandwich, would you make him a sandwich?
It depends how he asks.
Please make me Zyrax, would you make me a sandwich?
Well, yeah, if he's like, can you make me a sandwich? I'm like, okay.
See? But you wouldn't say, woman, make me a sandwich. You'd probably get upset with it. But men aren't
Yeah.
going to say that. They're going to say, I'm hungry. Could you make me a sandwich? You'd make
Well, yeah.
would you make
Well,
him a
of course,
sandwich?
that's my husband. So why would I go? Why would I go?
But
No.
that's the meme that's kind of prevalent. A man
Yeah,
says, go make me a sandwich. you
yeah,
know,
because
and
oftentimes,
it's kind of like,
oftentimes, it's not, when a man goes, oh, make me a sandwich. He's not saying, oh, honey, or a babe, can you make me a sandwich? It's, make me a sandwich, woman. Go back to the
right,
kitchen, woman. See, it's
right,
usually with that, so that's why women are like, if you're going to speak to me like that, no, make your own sandwich.
right. But
But
you
that's the thing where I think we
you
definitely need to preference the real world and
Hmm.
internet, because I don't think men are like, I honestly, it's like hard pressed to think that men are actually the way women are actually saying men are. I don't think men are like that, right? Men are not oppressive, men are not violent, men are not, belligerent or misogynist. I don't think men in general are like that. So again, this is why these conversations are, these talks are important, because I just think that we're so, the problem is that I think there's a danger when the internet can bleed into the real world,
Yes.
and that's why I do want to have conversations like this where we can ground ourselves.
Hmm.
So
Exactly.
well, most men are never gonna say to their wife or girlfriend, make me a sandwich. They're gonna make a sandwich for themselves. But what's nice for men is when their girlfriend or their wife just makes them a sandwich and brings it to them and says, "Here you go."
mm. Okay, anything? Okay, we talked about number one. Anything else you think you would vehemently disagree with?
Um, hold on, I definitely, there is such thing as white privilege.
Okay, okay.
Ah,
So
I'm
then
sorry.
I think that's fun.
ooh, okay.
I was definitely debating this with a whole bunch of commenters, earlier today. I believe today, right? A lot of things I want to talk about is today, right? I've said this 1,000 times. I recognize the past. I've acknowledged the ugly history of the West, the ugly history of America. I've never once disagreed to America or the West's ugly history. I never once did that, right? And I show respect to, the people of our past. But I cannot. I vehemently disagree with white privilege today. White people do not have white people in general, right? This is the problem. White people in general do not have privilege. Now, I think the problem is that I mean maybe this could change your mind. The problem is that a lot of these people who think white privilege, they're misconstruing it for rich people, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
they see, oh my God, this wealthy white man, white privilege. But again, I find it funny that we don't think that it would be the same thing if that was a black man, an Asian man, any other man that's wealthy. Well, yes, I believe there's social privileges, right? Between wealthy and poor. There's privileges. Money equates privileges. I don't believe today, in today's age, race equates privileges. At the very least, not white race. Now,
I
we
agree.
could we could agree. I mean, we could see. I could probably say that I think minorities are gaining more privileges, right? Thanks to I don't know certain scholarships, certain DEI initiatives, or certain government initiatives to focus on having more diversity. So I think that's a privilege, right?
So,
So that's how I go about it.
so Zyrex, what are your examples of white privilege?
Well, um, it's just now, like say if like a me and a white chick goes, inside of a store, right? You know, and who do you think, the clerk is gonna it's gonna follow around? Me or, the white chick? Most likely they're gonna follow me around, right?
Well, let's hypothetically, let's say you're dressed as a rich person. Do you think that they will follow you around? Like you're dripped in, let's say, I don't know, Gucci, or you have diamonds on around you. You think they would treat you the same?
No.
Yeah. So this is, I mean, again, this is why I think people who believe in white privilege is misconstruing it, right? Again, yeah,
No, I
probably
should not. But then, I should not have to dress up. I should not have to, wear Gucci, Versace, or whatever for that person to see me as an equal to a white person when that white person doesn't have to wear that. That's where the
who says
privilege
that,
comes
right?
in.
Let's hypothetically that white person dressed like a slob. You still don't think that that person would fall around that white person?
No,
I mean,
I am speaking, specifically when it comes to just race.
I know. What if the
Of
white
course, like
person was dressed like
yeah,
a slob? Dressed like I mean, like dirt on his clothes, like I don't know, holes on his clothes. I mean, it's just like
yeah, the
this
more
is the
likely,
thing.
yeah, they're gonna chase that person around instead of,
Yeah,
if I'm decent, then of course they're gonna chase after the one that's not decent because they
yeah.
think that person's gonna steal or whatever. Yes.
I mean, you could agree that we 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 as human beings are generally biased. We are generally, sadly, right, as sad as it is, we stereotype, right?
Yes,
Without malice, I think, right? Even without malice,
I
we
agree.
stereotype each other, right? So this is the problem I have with the whole idea with white privilege, right? It's misconstrued, right? I think it's more social, right, economical, right, and I think it's that again, we it's like. uh, we have biases, right? I mean, like me and you are Asian, right? We see those memes a lot of times where Asian people are looking at black people when they go into their stores and shit. Well, sadly, it's like the bias, it's the stereotypes, right? So it's your history that okay, let's say hypothetically, you had a bad history with a group, right? A group of people. Well, you're gonna look at them a terrible way. While let's say hypothetically, you don't have a bad history, let's say with white people, you're not gonna necessarily look at them as a negative way. I don't think it's privilege. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I just think it's the wiring of the human brain. Okay, that's how I see it, and That's the problem, right? So there's a difference between, like, let's say back in a certain time where you can dress like a very upstanding black person, and no matter what, they will look at you a wrong way because you're black. I agree. That is why I always want to preference today. It's different, right? Today is different. If you're dressed in a polo, right, khakis, like I mean, like you go in a store and you hear, like, you know, your whitewashed voice or whatever, right? All that stuff. I doubt people will, let's say, look at you a different way. But let's say hypothetically, you're a white person, huh? You have a do-rag on, your pants is to the floor. They're going to look at you a different way, right? So it's just we have to take a certain perspective, right? A different perspective. And this is why because here's my thing, where this whole white privilege thing, and I don't know if you see this, but it's just another way to hate white people, right? Because I believe, in my personal opinion, white people have changed. In general, I think in mass, white people are not as oppressive, not as terrible as, let's say, the left or Democrats make them out to be. So what do you have to do? Because in my opinion, the Democrat need an oppressor. They need the white man to continue to be the villain, because the white man is not the villain. How are they gonna, cater to the black man, to the other side, right? To the other crowd. They need the white man to be a villain. AJ, what is up, my brother?
What's going on, man? How you been?
I'm good. How you been, my brother?
Good,
Missed you.
man. Just chilling. Yeah, man. The whole white privilege thing is so stupid. It's such a myth. You know what I mean? It doesn't even make any sense. What people don't realize, it's a very anti-American and Amerocentric way to think, right? Mm-hmm. Because what people don't understand is the United States, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada are like the only places on Earth where there's no ethno-national standards. So anyone can come to America legally, get their citizenship, and be American. But all of us can't go to Poland and be Polish, or go to Mongolia and be Mongolian, right? So we go by national identity first and then race second, but ethnicity doesn't matter.
I agree.
In Asia, Asians don't call themselves Asians. They're Chinese, Japanese, etc., right? So in Africa, they aren't black, they're Nigerians or whatever. Yeah. So we try and put our racial lens to the rest of the world. Germans are not white people, they're Germans. They're ethnically Germans, just like the Japanese are Japanese. If the English are English, just like the Japanese are the Japanese. I don't believe in white privilege, I believe in majority privilege. Wherever there's the majority, they're going to have some level of privilege. In China, the Chinese are going to have some privileges over minorities, right?
Yeah,
and it's contextual, because
the funny thing is, Japanese people don't like Koreans.
They don't like anybody, but they really hate them. They don't really like anybody. But the thing about the United States, we do the most to bridge the gap between the majority and the minority of anywhere else on Earth. That's just the thing. Right. You think that if we were to go to Nigeria, that they would treat us the same, or in China, they would even try? And the issue that people don't get is it's contextual. Because what if all, Devil's Advocate and Tim are at an all-black school in Detroit? Well, then guess what? You guys would be the minority, and then the blacks would have the majority privilege. So it's not a race thing. It's a numbers and majority versus a minority thing. And anyone who thinks that there's white privilege has never been to places like Appalachia or rural Louisiana, where there's whites who live in the most poverty I've ever seen in my entire life.
Exactly. I mean, like, 100%. This is why I said there's no white privilege, because if you look statistically, white people make up most of the poor, most of the people who are on welfare. I mean, like, they're what's their privilege, right? What's their privilege?
I think you guys are conflating two things. Just because I understand what you're saying, I feel like you could still acknowledge that there's white privilege, and acknowledge that there's white people in Appalachia that live in poverty.
But it's not based on race, though. It's based on the fact that that the majority happens to be white,
or
it's not on race.
I think it's more about economic.
No, it's just about
acknowledging white
numbers.
privilege, it's not, it's how you see it. You can see it as a positive thing or a negative thing. Just because we acknowledge that there's white privilege, that doesn't necessarily
No,
mean that white people are bad. No
but
one is saying that.
But explain to me how it's because they're white and not because they're the majority. Because if I go to China, they have Chinese privilege by your logic. Then, if I go to Saudi, that means there's Saudi privilege, right? Well, whoever is the majority in the country has privilege. It has nothing to do with race. We just happen to be in a country where the majority happens to be white people.
Or
So
how about this? How about give us an idea what you think, right? How do you view white privilege? Like, what makes you think that? Okay, you know what, that example, yeah, that's white privilege. Please, I would love to know. What would you think?
Can I
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Before you talk? So Zyrax, are you an Asian? Are you of
She's
Asian?
She's Asian.
Yeah, Asian American.
You're Asian.
Yeah.
Asian American, yes.
Go ahead.
Asians outperform whites. So guess what? There's Asian privilege.
I mean, I think that Asians are. I mean, Asians are. I don't want to sound racist, but Asians are. I consider Asians white people.
No,
Is that racist?
No,
I want to say racist,
actually inaccurate because they wouldn't have been put in internment camps during World War II if they were white people. They wouldn't have to be stop Asian hate, and then hate crimes going on during the cough if they were white. Asians actually out-earn everyone and do the best socioeconomic. They do better than whites, but I don't hear anyone saying Asian privilege.
Right.
But they're the best educational, social, economic. They don't commit crimes. They have the most wealth. So that means that if there's white privilege, then you have to say by default that there's Asian privilege.
Yes, and yes, a lot of these things. This is a lot of what we're talking about. Is why it's hard to recognize white privilege when, like I said, Asian people and even immigrants of other, even Black immigrants, right? Or Hispanic immigrants, whatever. Some of them, they outdo even some white people, white groups. So it's hard for me to view white privilege 2 days. But I would love to what you think. Why would you think
should logically track DA is if there's white privilege, right? Then it should mean that a white person can go to China, can go to Jamaica or whatever, and have the same said privilege. And it's just not. It's not true. Or should be able to go in any situation in America and have privilege. And it's not true. They can't go to like the south side of San Antonio where it's majority Hispanic. They can't go to certain border towns or certain all Black towns like Detroit or Atlanta. It doesn't happen. It's all just based on the fact that the majority in America just happens to be white, just like the majority in China are Chinese. And logically, you would think that whoever is the most in one place enjoys some type of privileges that the minorities don't. That's why we are called minorities. But here's the thing. You guys know how you just disavow yourself of all this? Don't have this cosmic sense of fairness.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm 6'3". You don't think that I know that my height has given me lots of advantages? I'm 6'3". I have friends who are 5'5".
That's badass.
They're pretty pissed off that I'm 6'3". You know what I'm saying? But there's this cosmic sense of fairness means you're going to always think that someone has it better or that they're. I'm Black and I've always done well. So I've always been one of the only, if not the only Black guy in my classes, at my job, or whatever. But I know that I can outwork and outperform everyone. So I don't need a handout. I'm not worried about if Susie or Steve gets more than me because I'm going to get mine. That's just the way it works. And that's how you win versus how you lose. If I'm worried about everyone else's check and everyone else's efforts and this, I'm going to lose. You know what I mean? So I agree. I don't believe in white privilege.
No, that's something that I hope I definitely want to preference all these before Zyrex gives her viewpoint, because maybe this might skew your viewpoint, because when you think, yes, They're the majority, so maybe they have certain opportunities because, well, if you pick, 10 people, if 9 of them are white, then of course they probably get the job. Or, the world is like, if you constantly think that, okay, the world, to know that the world isn't always fair, and to think that, okay, you shouldn't have an equal amount of, black people, white people, or Asian people in the same job or same whatever, because we don't have not even equal in population. So, we have to
No,
caveats with all those stuff.
no,
So,
I
what's your thought?
understand. I understand that, right? Usually when we say, when one has more privilege than the other, it just means that they're just given a little bit, um, they're given more grace, more leeway, more, um, just more consideration than you would typically give someone of a different, skin tone
Well, when, like,
or race.
I can't
That's
say
exactly.
it.
that about you as an Asian though, because you guys have that model minority stereotype where you guys are just the model minority, and white people love you guys, and the only reason why you guys do well is because white people love you and give you these opportunities, and not that you guys outwork everyone. My
No,
girl's Korean.
it
She's
actually
heard
works
that her.
against us. It actually works against us though, AJ, because we have to, for the most part, Asians have to do the most just to be able to get in, as a white person don't have to do the most,
But yes,
and they
but
can
it's
still
still
get in.
working because you
That's not
outperform
true.
everyone. Asians are at the top
Yeah,
of
we have to
everything.
outperform.
Yes.
That's the point.
No,
But
We
what I'm
shouldn't have to
saying,
outperform.
no. Wait. Why?
That's where the
Why
privilege comes
not?
in.
Why not? Wait. But you're outdoing everyone. It's not like you're tied with white people. You're winning by a large margin.
yeah,
Now, if you
AJ.
were out trying to outperform and you were tied, that would be two different things. But you guys are seriously outperforming white people
Right,
in their
No, but
own
AJ.
country.
we're not talking about the outcomes here. We're talking
Right.
about, opportunity. Again, they're like a white person, doesn't have to score, high on, SATs to get into Harvard. Meanwhile, what you call an Asian would have to score super high just to be able to get into Harvard.
Well,
But the,
let's wait.
That's
Before
where
that,
Zyrak,
it's
before that,
unfair. But then I understand life is unfair.
yeah. But did you not? I mean, there was recent studies, recent articles that say that because of affirmative action, certain initiatives, then did you say that you don't we shouldn't accept black people, because there are certain studies that shown that white people and Asian people scored higher, but
Yep.
because they're not black, while black people scored less,
Yep.
they were picked. Black students were picked regardless,
Thank
even though they scored less than, let's say, Asian people or black people. So by your logic, should you say that, okay, we shouldn't pick black people to enter these schools?
No, see, it all depends on what kind of outcome what you're trying to achieve. If you're trying to have if you are focused on um diversifying your university and stuff like that, then yeah, there's certain things that you're gonna have to implement, and it's gonna while it's gonna give some people privileges, it's gonna take away other people's privilege. Anytime you give someone more a privilege, you know you're taking away from someone else. That's all I'm saying. I'm
Yeah,
not
but
saying
did
that
you not?
because there's white privilege, that means white people are bad. I'm not saying that at all. And
Right.
one has not has nothing to do with the other, in my opinion.
But
Well,
Zyrak, can I say something? So, all these entry exams have been litigated in the Supreme Court by the Trump administration to benefit Asian Americans.
No, it's not to benefit. It's
No,
not.
it hurts
And that's
Asians.
where
Yeah,
exactly,
it hurts Asians. Yeah.
the
And
fact
here's the
that you
thing.
said that it benefits. That's why people get the sense that
But
they're still white privilege.
see, this is why DEI, which I don't believe in, affirmative action, which I don't believe in, because white women gain the most from both programs,
Mhm.
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is why
Yeah.
it's bullshit. Sorry, it's BS.
Yep.
Because now Asians and whites, it's assumed that both of you have privilege and you guys are getting cooked. And what it's doing is it's taking Black and Hispanics and Native Americans and kicking them up into schools that they don't qualify for. Thomas Sowell, he did a really cool video where he was in his book, and he was saying, if you have like a Black student who could qualify to go to like Penn State and do well and be an engineer, instead he gets kicked up to Stanford, where he might be like 1% down, where he can't do well. So instead of engineering, he switches to English so he can try and graduate. And it's doing people a disservice because it's putting them in schools that don't belong in, and then it's harming. Remember, Asian students sued Harvard, they sued Stanford, they sued Yale. And what I'm saying is that the DEI and the wokey wokes, they argue, Cyrax, that Asians and whites have privilege. My friend goes to Texas A&M. They had an event, a DEI thing, saying no whites and no Asians allowed. So the governor shut it down. So if you believe in white privilege, you've been grouped into that white privilege by the Democrats by default. And I think it's wrong. The reasons why Asians do the best is because you guys outworked everyone. I'm from Seattle. I have Asian friends, and my Asian friends got straight A's because they outworked everybody.
Yeah, but you're saying Penn State and Harvard. Penn State and Harvard are. Penn State is more prestigious than Harvard.
What do you call a doctor who went to Harvard?
I don't think that.
A doctor.
And what do you call a doctor who went to Penn State?
A doctor.
Thank you.
Penn,
What are you talking about?
Penn State is more prestigious than Harvard because
No,
of their football team.
No, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
in my whole professional life, and I went to a really good grad school, but no one ever asked me where I went to school. And my program's very prestigious, unless you're trying to be some Goldman Sachs or some a head of surgery at some international hospital. It doesn't matter. My point is that you go to law school or undergrad or whatever where it's best suited for you. And if you're not in that top 98 percentile who can actually make it in a decent major at Harvard, maybe you're a better off at Penn State where you can do better. It's just better suited for you.
You. Well, I would say Harvard or a community college, because Harvard and Penn State is not the same. You can't compare those two.
Yes, you can, because one is a bachelor's, master's, or they both give out the same degrees. If I'm going to engineering school, right? Let's just say I will have a harder time keeping up with the curriculum at Harvard if I don't belong there. If
not anymore.
If I'm,
are you crazy? They don't even fail students in Harvard anymore.
My point is historically, though, there have been studies that have been shown that because of DEI, Asian students have it harder because they assume that Asians and whites are the same, that you guys are privileged, that you guys you get up and you poop gold bars, or that gold bars fall from the sky. And it's like, no, Asians outwork everyone in every single scenario, and they're being penalized for it, and it's not fair. And then Black students, instead of saying, hey, look, let's hold Black students to the same standard and actually figure out things like 2-parent households and not living in poverty and these things to make Black students be able to compete. Because when you actually do have Black students who have two middle class, college educated parents, they do just as well as whites, right? They're going to try and say, we're going to take Black kids who can barely read and send them to higher universities and then kick the Asians out.
AJ, what I disagree with is using Penn State.
Okay.
Ohio State then, dude. Really?
No.
What does it matter?
A community college, because Penn State and Ohio State are Big Ten.
What does it matter? A 4-year state school versus an Ivy League school.
But still, right? I mean, let's go back to it, right? This is why I don't believe in white privilege, because it's just a propaganda thing where you can blame it instead of, you know what? I do believe that we should work hard, right? I mean, like we should. This is the thing where Zyrex said, right? Why should we work hard? We should work hard. It's work ethics, right? Asian people should work hard, work
Yes.
harder than white people, and we're seeing the results of it, right?
Yep.
Asian people actually have by per capita, they have more degrees than white people. They out earn white people by per capita, right? You should have that mindset in the black community as well, in general. Where this is the problem I have with white privilege. It's just a propaganda thing. It's a excuse machine, right? Oh my God, this black people can't make it because of white privilege. No, you couldn't make it because you didn't work hard enough.
Yeah,
You didn't
we
work
used to
harder
work hard.
than any
We
person.
used to work hard.
Yes.
The black community
Yeah.
after Reconstruction, even though we started low, we were going up economically really fast, and then LBJ hit us with that great society, and we got cooked. Black people, we used to know how to work. We used to know how to own businesses and start HBCUs, and all these organizations that are around today were started back during Jim Crow and Reconstruction and all this stuff. But just this, my home school district in Washington State, where I went to high school, they don't consider you Asians to be students of color.
I've heard that.
It says in the Thurston County, Washington charter thing now that you Asians, basically, because you guys do so well, are not considered students of color because apparently students of color only do poorly in school. So if there's white privilege, Xyrax DA, hey, you guys got the membership rings. You guys got the Dakota rings out of the Cracker Jack box because now it's on you. And that's why DEI, the best thing that they did was get rid of DEI and affirmative action, because now you'll see more Asians doing well instead of just white women. White women benefited the most. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say this. I definitely think there's white women privilege.
Yes.
I definitely say that.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And white women, where I'm from, they hate Asian women. Oh boy. There's
you are so cool.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah. I subscribe to your channel.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
You're a cool
you're
dude.
growing. I love it. I love your success.
The algorithm's been tough for channels like DA and mine.
Yeah.
If we were all about like Transformers and feminism, we'd have 400,000 subs.
Let's hear from Xyrax.
Yes. I want to give you the last word, and then we'll just move on to another topic. Right. So, I mean, if it didn't change your mind, okay. But I would love to hear your after you heard everything, what's your final thoughts on it? Right. I mean, if it hasn't changed your mind, okay. But why is your mind still so reinforced by what you believe? So I'll give you the last word.
Because there's there's still, I think, pointing out privileges is a good thing, because then it gives an opportunity to fix the discrepancy, right? And so I think it's okay to acknowledge that certain things white privilege exists. Like in California, it's now it's predominantly Spanish speaking, and so if I was to apply for a job, and and someone who speaks Spanish applies for a job, most likely they're going to get it, not me. So you could call that privilege also, right? So a lot of times, I think it's okay to point out privileges and stuff, so that way you could fix it if needed. It's not just because you point out that certain people have certain privileges that makes them bad, because oftentimes it's not of their own fault. It's just the way we see see things, the way we perceive things. Just because there's like white privilege, I don't think white privilege would exist like here in California, but certain states where, like AJ was saying earlier, where it's predominantly white, you're going to see a lot of white privileges there. So I definitely agree with that. And so just because, again, you see some privileges here, it's okay to acknowledge it. And oftentimes, I from what I'm hearing, it seems like you guys don't want to acknowledge it. You guys sort of just want to dismiss it. And I think you should acknowledge it and just say it only happens in certain areas, and then just leave it at that.
I think we're assuming that you're using it and this is my mistake, Cyrax, because I'm so used to like you're a very smart person, and I was assuming that you use white privilege in a way that I've heard people who are not as intelligent as you use it. You don't have a victim mentality, right? So like when I hear someone use white privilege, I automatically go to them using that victim mentality, and you've never come off that way. So my apologies for assuming that that's what you were doing. But my brain, I'm so used to like hearing people, because I'm black, right? So I hear black people use white privilege in a way to just like, number one, keep themselves, at the bottom, and then also disrespect me or say that I'm not black because I've succeeded. You know what I'm saying? Like, or that I don't let it get me down. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
you aren't using it in this victimhood, woe is me way. You're just saying that, look, white people have certain privileges, other groups do too. That makes sense. That's kind of a more nuanced way to say it
Yes.
instead of the way that I was thinking. So that was my mistake in thinking that's what you were saying. So thank you for clearing that up.
Oh no, thank you for thank you for acknowledging that, because I do understand, what you mean. Because yeah, oftentimes when people talk about privilege, it's usually to, they tend to use it as like a way to like knock the other person, or in a way, sort of make an excuse to why, why things happen. And me, I've always come from a point, from the perspective of like, there's nothing wrong with acknowledging, the problems that we have. We should acknowledge them, because only then we can try to come together and find, solution to fix those problems, right? And so, one thing, I understand, like America, as today, yeah, there's definitely like less racism. Yes, we our country has progressed, has gotten a lot better. I definitely agree with them, with that. But but then at the same time, there are some pockets in America where, yeah, still needs to be fixed. We still need to solve problems. Some racism, yes, are still going on. And I think it's okay to acknowledge both. And I think we should acknowledge both. Both is my point.
I mean, we could talk about that for hours. I definitely have some opposing viewpoints for that, but
So,
I
so
want to. What your thought?
Zyrex, what kind of racism are you talking about? Racism against you, or racism against blacks, racism against French, racism against Southwest Indians? What kind of
There's
racism
no, there's always
specifically?
going to be racism. It doesn't matter. I experience
Well,
racism. I'm sure. Depending where you go, yeah, you're going to experience a little bit of racism. I think that's just.
spe- no, specifically, like examples of racism.
Um, no, I'm talking about. I'm not talking about. You know, anything that's. I'm not saying.
Right,
Hustle favor.
but at when you first started, when you first came on the stream, you talked about race, kind of a racism of where you went into a store and you thought you were the clerks were following you around.
Hmm.
Do you really think that's true?
Yeah,
Yes.
happens to me. Yeah, I'm a big black guy.
No,
They
I mean,
follow me around.
I know. Well, AJ, right? Of course, they're
I think it's more
right. Yeah,
stereotyping
Yeah,
but
yeah,
than
yeah,
necessary
yeah.
off
I
outright
don't,
racism.
Zyrex. I don't think that if you go to a store that is with a lot of white employees, they're gonna follow Asians around, right? They're perhaps they'll follow you really fat obese white women around. They'll follow fat obese black women around. They might follow black
Yeah, but this is
young black.
where this is where, why we say there's, still privilege, because see, because me and AJ, we just said that, yeah, that happens to us. And of course,
They're
because that's never
they're not
happened to you, it's hard for you to imagine that that actually still exists. And it does. But then it does, that doesn't mean that white people are bad. It has nothing to do
right.
with that, because it
Do
could
you
be,
think
another Asian that's following me around, it's just it's,
right? But do you think that white people in America are following Asian
No,
Americans
look,
around
look,
in
look.
stores?
What she's saying is that she's had experiences where people have stereotyped her based on her race, right? I can say the same thing. Da can say the same thing. We've had this experience because we are minorities. That's how
mhm,
it is. Okay. I'm from Washington State. Anywhere outside of Seattle, Tacoma, and Olympia, there are no black people. So I assume
Right.
that when I walk around in Squim or Yelm or Ocean Shores, I get weird looks. I've been called colored. Do I take it? It's more ignorance than malice. Like, look,
There's
they
a
don't
I
have a
agree.
lot of black people out there. You know what I'm saying? But it's when you're a group, part of a group that people don't see. There's large swathes of America still where there are no minorities. So if you
right.
were to see DA and Zyrax and myself walking through, we would get comments or we would get looks. It just is what it is. But
Uh-huh.
and it just happens because once again, blacks were 13.5% of the population. That's how it works. If
Right,
I
but
was walking in China, it'd be the same way. That's just how it works. Like you don't see us
yeah,
all
but
the time.
AJ, they probably look at you as, God, he's 6'3". He's really tall.
I guess I just say that when again, guys, I just don't see it as an issue unless you're coming up in my face and like yelling the N word. I
Right,
just don't care.
right.
And to me, though, I've experienced the worst racism on the left. I've
Yeah.
had people on the left try and explain being black to me because I don't have a victimhood mentality.
Right.
Oh, I took an African American studies class, AJ. So you got to understand that this is what black people think. As a white person telling me this, I was in high school and we had an advanced placement European history class field trip. Here I am, the only black kid in the class, and my teacher goes, "Oh, AJ, if your family can afford to send you there, we can come up with a payment plan." I'm like, my dad's a doctor. He pays more in taxes
Right.
than you make in a
Right.
year. They try and infantilize minorities.
Yeah.
I would rather have a person, I'm in the South, come up to me and tell me that they don't like me because I'm black, which has never happened in the South because I believe that they're less racist here in the South than in the Northwest where I'm from. But I would rather have that upfront down home racism than the racism of lowered expectations. That's my
AJ,
problem.
Yes, the thing
AJ,
is for low expectation. Yes.
no, AJ, you have height privilege.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. You're 6'3".
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I'm extremely jealous.
No.
Same here.
Right.
Okay. I mean, let's anything else, Zyrex? You are the spotlight, right? So anything else you would vehemently disagree with?
Sorry, my screen is small, so I'm gonna have to.
I can tell you those Zyrax where I'm from. Well, you black women when they see black men with white chicks, they get mad. Where I was from, white women would see white dudes with Asian chicks and get just as mad as black women see. There's a stereotype in Seattle that all the successful white dudes don't date white women and they all date Asian chicks. It's obviously not true, but it was like something that I saw in college and in my work life. It's just weird hatred that like Pacific Northwestern white women have for Asian women. So yeah, very strange.
Like I get it, like all you can do is have conversation with them in hopes that is changes how they change how they feel, of course, towards you or your people. I mean, of course, right off the bat, if you don't know much about about a different race, then I would think that you would try to get to know them, because I feel like the more, and okay, this, I don't know if you guys agree with this, but I believe that diversity is a strength.
Oh, I don't.
I do. Why wouldn't it? Why do we win the Why do we win the Olympics? More medals in the Olympics than anyone else? Because we have the most diverse country on earth. We got Jamal, who runs the 100-meter dash. We got the white dude doing the pole vault. We got the Chinese dudes doing ping pong. You know what I'm saying? That's why
Exactly.
we win the most. Objectively, diversity has made us the most successful country when it comes to the Olympics and other things. Now we need to be unified in culture. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
But we can still be a unified culture, a national identity, and then have our different identities underneath. But I do believe, once again, that look, you guys see how China always tries to have the 5'2" dude trying to run the 100-meter dash and get smoked by the Jamaicans and the Americans. Guys, come on, you know what I'm saying? I mean, really, you can't tell me that they could deal with a little bit of diversity. You know what I mean? So we have the 6'5" Brock Lesnar dude from Wisconsin throwing the shot put. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the 5'2" Chinese guy. You know?
Right. I don't care about diversity of race because I don't really believe in it. Race doesn't have anything to do with how I function, but I believe that like the culture of the United States has to be homogeneous. We all have to kind of believe in the same thing. If we don't, the United States is gonna collapse and the world is gonna collapse, and we're gonna have all these interstitial fights, and it's gonna be horrible.
No, that's why I see where Tim is coming from. This is why we are diversity should be our strength, but it's becoming our weakness because we are fighting against each other.
Well, there was
someone.
Sorry.
Yeah, diversity. I don't care who you are, or I care. I do kind of care what you believe in. If it's against the United States, but I don't care what your race is or what your sexual preference is or anything like that. But you better believe in the United States.
Well, that's one thing
as a concept.
I forget what it was, the media that I was looking at, but it was saying how the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and even the 2000s, the Democrats and the Republicans both agreed in the same systems, in the same directions of America, just using the systems differently, right? So like in the 80s, the Democrats and the Republicans were both kind of on the same track. They just wanted to do different pathways to get there, or changing the train switches.
Yeah.
But the far left wing, that's been more of the vocal part of the party, they've completely gone off that path. They believe that the systems of America themselves are racist, sexist, blah blah blah, and not having access to said systems. Nothing in our U.S. government systems are racist, sexist. If said group doesn't have access to it, like due process. If Asian men don't have access to due process, that's racism. But due process itself is not racist, right? Mm-hmm. But now you have the vocal group of the Democrats who want to tear everything down. They want to say that we are not even going in the same direction as the moderates and the Republicans and the libertarians. We're going to go over here and build our own island. And that's why we're so divided as a country right now. It's just we don't have the same basic understanding of the direction that the country should be going in and the mechanisms to get us there anymore.
It's cultural Marxism, which was the seed was planted in France in the 70s. And it's just crazy how all these universities in the United States have been inoculated with cultural Marxism from France, of all places.
Yeah, this modernist or whatever.
right.
What's crazy?
Correct.
I feel bad,
Yeah.
Cyrax, for women like you because women will take a look at a woman like you and just assume they have you all figured out. I'm sure that you think for yourself, and that's kind of gotten you in some trouble with people who think, oh well, she's an Asian woman, so she must think X A B C D E F G, and you're like, wait a minute, I don't believe in D E F, and they're like, what do you mean? Me being black, they assume that I'm, my political beliefs are a certain way, and like that's
Yeah.
racist. You know what I mean? To just think that just because of my skin color that I think a certain way, it just. But that's the world we live in now. So, but all right, DA, I appreciate you, man. Hey, stop. Earlier you were streaming. Were you on TikTok earlier?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been trying to. I wanted to go on your stream, but you started to record earlier now.
Yeah, at 5 p.m. is because that's usually I'm the only person of our ilk streaming.
Yeah, you are the only you are the only person. So you have less competition.
Yeah.
So that's smart
on TikTok, man, because you be getting in some wars. You're in the pocket throwing bombs like old school Mike Tyson on TikTok.
I'm glad you're checking that out. All
right, you guys, and drop a like
brother.
on DA's stream, guys. Hit the super chat button.
One thing I'd like to say before people leave or depart is I like people who have I don't care about skin color or anything like that. I like people who have the same curiosity of thought. Right. So AJ has the same curiosity of thought, and DA has the same curiosity of thought, and Zyrax possibly has the same curiosity of thought. Just because you came on here, you think about things. Your mind. You think about things in your mind. I mean, I don't.
I think you should.
I just love thought.
That's getting harder and harder to find these days.
Thought
on the internet. So
right.
Thanks, everyone.
AJ, later, my brother. Thank you for stopping by.
Bye, AJ. It was good talking to you.
All right. So I mean, we can wind down. Let's do one more. What's anything else you disagree with?
Let me see.
Thank you guys for always being here. Please like, subscribe if you haven't, right? Please check out. I've been doing more TikTok debates, which is quite wild because we definitely get more detractors on that. I wish I could find more detractors on YouTube, but
I don't think Zyrax actually doesn't is anti anything we've said. She just feels perhaps like
she thinks about it differently. She
Yeah,
thinks about it differently. So that's why.
Because you're very fair, Zyrax. So you have an open mind.
Well, I feel like you should be. People should try to be as fair as possible.
Yeah.
Right. So
I understand if we may have different ideologies or whatever, but which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
As long as we're not, as long as we're respectful and
exactly.
Right. Yeah. So us three right here and AJ before he left. I mean, we kind of agree that you shouldn't argue from emotion, right?
No.
We're just having a debate on thought.
What's your Zyrax? What is your icon, your image?
What do you mean?
The image for your
Oh, my avatar?
Yeah.
Oh, a buddy of mine did that. It's supposed to be like Mortal Kombat, Yeah.
Oh, it's Mortal Kombat?
So sort of Mortal Kombat,
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's Mortal Kombat. Anything you disagree with?
Zyrax, does your man protect you?
I guess. I guess he doesn't. It depends. What do you mean by protect, right? Like if we're walking, I'm an adult. He's an adult. We're protecting our kids, but
if someone broke into your house and threatened to kill you, he would protect you, right?
Yes.
That's a good thing,
Yeah, that's
Yes.
a great thing. She chose a good man.
right? That's a good thing.
I will not be I will not be here. No, he will not be here if he doesn't, if that he
That is
didn't have to protect me and the kids.
right.
Shoot.
Uh-huh.
That's a yeah. Men like to protect their their wives and their children.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
they're gonna die for their wives and their children. Do you think, Zyricus? Do you think men are evil? Number six, or violent?
No, I don't. I think no, I think the average person is decent.
Right. Your man would become violent if someone threatened you or your children, though.
I think oftentimes when people say, when you hear women, go, men are evil, men are violent. It's because they're comparing it to women. Like which gender is more evil than the other, and therefore, I think we would say, yeah, men are more evil than women, compared just to men to women, right? And that's because you guys are just you guys are physically stronger than us. So
Yes,
yeah, it would seem that yeah, you guys are more violent,
men,
but that
men men have the capacity uh, for violence,
and
but
women, yes,
Yes, yes, yeah.
the
Oh,
human thing, yes,
most men are only going to become violent, lethally violent, um, if, when they're protecting their family.
yeah, when they sense like threat and stuff and threat danger,
Yeah,
yes,
and that's a good thing, right? Men should be able to protect their family,
yes, and
correct?
okay, yes. Now men are saying that they don't want to no more.
Well,
And is that right?
men are.
Men are
I mean,
men are
I don't.
choosing to not provide protection anymore. Is that correct?
I think men are walking away from relationships. Right. I think men, particularly younger men, right? Men 18 to 25, those men are either walking away from relationships or they're just not in relationships right now. So I don't think men are not they don't want to. It's just that I think they are opting out of relationships or they just don't see themselves in relationships. So I think
well,
that's more the reality of men.
I think men I don't know the time frame. Let's say pre 1980. If a woman was being, well, probably even less than that, pre 19 or pre two 2000s. If a woman was being, if something happened to a woman um being attacked or something like that, men would step in and
Mhm.
protect the woman from another man. But
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
what has happened is that women, I mean, you can watch YouTube vids of this. Women have sued the men who have protected them. There was a guy who this woman was walking across a crosswalk, and this man came and he did violently push her away, but a car was coming, so that was the only thing he could do. He pushed her away. The woman sued him because he sexually, I don't know, it was weird. He sexually assaulted her.
Probably assaulted her.
Yeah, right. Assaulted her, but he
Yeah.
saved her life.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
So
men are
that,
walking away from
right,
helping women or,
correct.
uh, protecting women. Yes. Strangers, right? Women you don't know. Yes. You're definitely going to see a lot less of everyday man helping out everyday women. So that is
A
definitely
straight
decreasing.
and like chivalry is dead too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if a woman is at Home Depot trying to load
Yeah. Yeah.
plywood into her car, a man's not gonna just automatically come up to her and say, "Yeah, I'll help you. Load this plywood into your car." He's just gonna walk by her.
Oh, but then don't get upset if then women go, we don't need men.
Right. But
Okay. So let's say, okay, the last one, women need men. Here's the thing where I want you to think about this, right? Men didn't change. I always say this, right? Men didn't change. Men
correct.
adapted, right? It's not that okay. Men stop helping women, and then women saying, I don't need men." No. It's the the chicken came first. Women said, "I don't need men." Women changed. Men adapt, right? So this is why it's a little bit dishonest. Where you can't say that. Okay, you can't say that. If men don't help out women, then don't cry that women are saying that they don't need men. Well, that's not the correct way to think about it. It became first, right? Women don't need men, right? You hear we are around the same ages. You hear I'm strong, independent. I don't need no man. You hear this, I don't need men, right? Rhetoric for decades now, right? At least for 2 or 3 decades now. You've been hearing that kind of rhetoric. So it's not that men don't want to help women. Men see that if you are constantly saying that you don't need men, well, guess what? Men will adapt to that. So it's not that men changed and then women adapted or changed themselves to fit that narrative. No, men fit women's narrative instead of the other way around. So it's not, men know that they need women. The problem is women don't acknowledge that they need men. So that's why men have changed. So I definitely, I want, a lot of people to understand that it's not that men want things to change, but men have to adapt to accept that change. Right. And this is why I wanted to talk about this. Right. This is why I have this as a topic, because we have a problem with women today where women say, I don't need a man. There is no man, at least publicly, right? At least through videos, through social media, whatever, to just say that, or it's not the narrative that I don't need a woman. I don't need a woman. I'm strong and independent. I don't need no woman. Men don't do that. Okay. Men don't do that while women do. And I think that is a detriment because now, again, we're seeing the results where men in general are not helping out women. Chivalry is dead. Guess what? We constantly say it. Women have killed chivalry. And it's that mindset. Okay. So you can't say that, okay, don't be surprised that women say I don't need men. What do you mean surprised? That came first. What men are doing came second. Right. So that's what you got to think about. And that's what I want to change. I think it's terrible that chivalry is dead. I think it's terrible. But what you say you disagree?
Yes, because I think you're missing something.
Go ahead.
Why, the reason why women wanted to become independent was because for centuries women had to rely on men, right? And so men will hold that over, the woman's head, like, oh, you can't go nowhere. So women felt like, because the woman, she has no money, she has nowhere to go, she has to rely on this man to take care of her. And so if she doesn't do what he says, then of course, what do you think is going to happen, right? And so therefore, that's why women wanted, wanted the right to vote, to wanted just basically, the choice to do whatever she wants and stuff, and not have to rely on the man. Do you agree with that?
Okay, here's the thing where I could go 2 ways. Where one, I don't agree with that because I don't think men were holding over women's head in general. Yeah, there are probably certain bad men that did that, but I think men in general weren't holding women captive or holding this thing over women's heads. I don't think so. I think this is the point where chivalry, right? Where men think that they need to protect, they need to provide, they need to take care. So they see women as whether it's good or bad, they see women as weaker. They see women as you need help, right? You need in this world where I agree, men are in charge or whatever. Men could do this, so men took up the charge where I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to look out for you. I'm going to provide and protect for you. Right? That was the world. That was the time. It's not an evil. I don't think it's in an evil way or a bad way, in a malicious way. It's just that was the time, and that's why chivalry was there. That's why when you see women in peril or women in trouble, men in general helped out women because it was the mindset of most men where you see a women that were weaker, you see women that need help, so you take up the charge to help out women, right? That was the that was the prevailing narrative of the time.
Well, it's not just it's strange, you know, strange men and strange women in public. So men that don't know what these women and women who don't know these men. If something happened years ago, if something happened to a woman in public, a bunch of men would. If a man attacked a woman in public or did something untoward to a woman in public, a bunch of men would correct that man. So a woman saying that they don't need a man is fine, but they're not going to be able to survive. So if a woman is loading up 2x4s at a Home Depot, and I walk by her, and she's not loading up those 2x4s in a sheet of plywood correctly, and she's well, I'm kind of drunk, so you're not making.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
hearing
making.
it.
In this day and age, women don't really need men no more because women have the ability to work, and so if they need anything, they could just pay for the service. As you know, like if they want a house built, they could just pay to have the house.
Well, who's building it?
Well, yeah, it's of course it's men.
So you need men.
No,
This
when
is
I mean, no, when I go,
I get what you're trying
no,
to do, but this is I really want women to really. This is the problem, right? Is that
no,
yes, you don't need a
we
man.
need men. We need men. Yes,
Yes,
but I'm
yes,
talking about in relationships. You know, when
I
we
know.
okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. This is my problem, right? It's that you don't understand this narrative, right? I even said I respect blue collar men, right? So to say that it's that mindset, right? When you say that you don't need men, I get what women are trying to say. They don't need men in relationships. I get it, but the problem is a trickle effect, right? Or it's a bleed over where women are just obviously I don't need men at all, right? Women say that we could survive without men. What do we need men for, right? This is the thing where it's like when you get poisoned a little bit, it just grows, right? Or like a cancer cell, right? It grows. So it's not just like, oh, I don't need a man to be in a relationship. Okay, fine. No one's saying that. But the problem is this cancer will grow. That is why women, a lot of times, maybe you're not seeing it, but I'm trying to paint that picture to you, where that narrative that you have, I don't need a man, it will bleed, right? So it starts small, but it gets bigger. Well, I don't need men for anything, right? Who needs men for anything? I could do it all myself because I just had an argument with a woman or a debate with a woman. Is that, oh, we don't need men for nothing, right? Oh, what do we need men for? It's like men built society. No, women did it. What are you talking? It's that trickle effect. It's that poisoning. It's that growth of the cancer, and that's the problem I have. Where fine, if you don't need a man to be in a relationship with, in my honest opinion, keep that to yourself, right? Keep that to yourself. But the problem is that we are spreading that poison, and that poison spreads, and that is the narrative that I want to fight against, right? This is why I even have these conversations, because I want to fight against this narrative. Okay. We are building a world. Like, here's the thing where maybe you don't see the problem with, right? If let's say hypothetically, I'm like a boy. I grow up centuries, right? I mean, like every couple of years, I'm keep on hearing, we don't need men, right? Men are violent, men are this, men are that. As a boy, you grew up hearing all these narratives, all these things of constantly like, because you're a man, because you're a boy, because you will eventually be a man, you're not needed, you're not wanted, you are villainized. I don't know if you have boys, but if you and I this is a thing where I think, yeah. So this is why I advocate for this, because we don't understand the ramification it will have on our boys, right? We're grown adults. Some, a lot of the men are grown adults, so we can handle it. But the problem is, even the grown adult men struggle with that. The constantly hearing, we don't need you. And then he said, oh, but you do need us, right? We protect you. We build a society around you. The phone you have is from us. Everything you have is from us. To say you don't need us is disingenuous at best, right? Say that you can say that you want to be single, great, that's good for you. But women, a lot of times, women go further, right? They go overboard to just downplay men completely, right? So that's why I want to fight against it. And that's why I want to maybe get you to understand that, yeah, women can stay single for the rest of their life. No one says that, right? But to say you don't need a man is honestly, in this world, disingenuous, because you do. We all do, right? Because men are important. I'd rather your sons hear that, you know what, being a man is important. Being a man is needed, right? We need men. We need women. Like it's the same thing in reverse. To say that we don't need women is absolute lunacy, because without women, we would die out, right? So it's like I want to destroy that narrative. And this is why I create my content, because I see that narrative and I'm sad for the boys of our lives, right? For maybe your son, and just for other people's son, right? Where they're growing up in a world that says they don't need you. There's a psychological detriment to it. So that's my point.
Zyrex, you have sons, right?
Yes, I have one.
Right. Your son looks up to your husband.
Yes.
That's a good thing.
Yes.
What do you think, Zyrex, after everything? What's your thoughts?
No, I actually agree with you, DA. 100%. We need each other. That's the thing. I get the slippery slope, because all it takes is just one person, just because they have a bad experience with a man, they go, you know what, I could take care of myself. And the next thing is like, you know what, no, I don't need you for this now. I don't need you for this now. And it's like, yeah, that's not good. We need each other. We need to appreciate one another, way more than, just way more. And instead of this, gender, war thing that we have going on, I think a lot of times, I think we just focus too much on the negative, and then the negatives of, of a man, the negatives of a woman, and we need to. Oh. Okay, am I back? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're back. Finish.
Okay,
You can finish what you're saying.
Oh, I was just saying, we need to focus more on like that, the positive of a woman, the positives of, of a good man, a positive of good woman, and it's okay to point out bad behaviors, bad traits in a woman, because I believe that we should all do better. We and I mean, our country, our earth, in order to to make sure that our species survives, we have to do better. We have to treat each other better, and so I completely agree with you.
Thank you.
Zyrex, what do you think about trans women?
Number
7.
I mean, if you don't want to touch that topic, it's okay too.
I'm not going to treat them any different. If they want to use, use the same bathroom as me, I'm fine, as long as you are presenting as a woman. You can't say, oh, I'm a trans, woman, but then you look like you look like a man on the outside and expect me to be okay with you walking into my bathroom. No, so yes, there are lines that I would not, I would not cross.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay. You actually, well, I listened to what you said, but you actually think that trans women should go into women's bathrooms?
Because they're presenting themselves as women.
Yeah, for her, I guess it's like if she can't tell the difference.
Yeah, I should. You have to be, you have to look like a woman in order for me to be okay with you going to a woman's bathroom.
Right, passable trans women.
Yes.
Right, not these men who are actually pedophiles that want to spy on your. I'm talking.
Yeah. All right, guys. We could wrap it up. That was a great. I mean, Zyrex, much love. Thank you for stopping by. It's a great thing that you helped. push the conversation along, give a opposing opinion. I love it. I love it. You are amazing. So you
Oh, thank
are
you.
always a prize guest.
Yeah, Zyrex, you're barely against what me and DA think.
Yeah. This is why I love it when
Right.
you come on. I love it when you come on.
And I'll try to come on more often too.
No, thank you for having some time. I know you're busy, so thank you for the love. Thank you for the love.
Of course,
Zyrex,
of course. Yes.
Zyrex, could you make your husband a sandwich, please? Just
Okay.
out of the
She
blue.
will. She loves them. She loves them. All right.
All right. It was great talking to you guys, and of course, I'll talk to you guys again soon.
All right.
Yeah, he'll
Later, you guys.
appreciate it. Yeah, good night.
Tim, thank you for stopping by, my brother. Thank you
I
for
should-
the spending time with me at the beginning. All right. I love you.
I shouldn't drink so much, should I?
You were I could tell you were drinking a bit. Right? I could sense it. I could sense that it was affecting you. But all right. I love you guys, right? So Tim, thank you for being here. All right.
Yep.
See you, my brother.
You're a good man.
I love you. Take care of your health.
Yeah. Yeah, goodbye.
All right. Guys, thank you for the love. Thank you for being here. Evil Eddie. All right. I love you. I disagree. I don't want men in dress rooms. You know what? This is the thing. I agree. Right. I mean, I agree with Red Door. I think men shouldn't be in there, regardless if you passable. Right. I think it's a slippery slope as well. This is a thing where we don't talk about it. Right. A lot of these things are slippery slopes. Right. If you allow it, it's going to become dangerous. Right. It's going to become a dangerous thing. So I'd rather not allow it at all, right? All right, guys. AJ, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for showing the love, right? I wish I could join your stream, but you do it much earlier now, so I definitely don't have the time. I don't have the chance. Evil Eddie, thank you for stopping by. Laughing Man Connor, thank you. I didn't get the chance. Excuse me, Connor. I didn't get a chance to shout you out. Thank you for being here. Oh God. Sorry about that, guys. You guys are amazing, right? So thank you guys for being here, Laughing Man. Yeah. Organic. Big bars. Thank you guys for being here. I love you.
No need to defend. Just ideas on the floor. No loser inside. Just a spark in the depth of the night. Sharpen thought, not the blade of pride. Let the truth decide. Respect for debate.